just here to give my opinion and carry in.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, and happy Thursday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon. And welcome to a brand new episode, of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the latest and going on in celebrity news, hot topics, entertainment news, anything that's going on in pop culture and the gossip situation. We talk about it on this here show. So, oh my God, my feet got tangled on my wire. Hold on. So before we get started, Chad, please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm literally trying to untangle myself live while we do that show. But anyway, we here. I'm a mess per usual. Um, I don't know what happened. Oh, I was busy trying to put the show together still. I had to take my dogs out to the bathroom. And then I was like, oh my God, I got 10 minutes. I didn't even put in the banners and all that other mess. You know, I'm always on color people time. But nevertheless, because, that's my black side. But nevertheless, we here, child. We are here. We are queer. We're going to celebrate the rest of this damn Pride. That's coming up because Pride is Sunday. And I'm trying to get out of Fire Island on July 4th. Me and Sailor Mermaid, we about to go get lit. Yes, honey. So, friend to the show. So, yeah, we got a lot of tea to get to. I'm gonna answer y'all questions and stuff in a second. But first, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button if you haven't already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. We have a lot of tea to get to. There's not a lot going on, but we do talk TV and stuff in here. So I want to talk about Interview with a Vampire. Sarah Michelle Gellar got a new damn job. This has probably got me interested in her next project. So we're gonna talk about that. Paul Walter Hauser, a name that y'all probably not familiar with, but y'all will be because he is on the rise. He's in a lot of movies that's going to be coming out in the next maybe year or two. Through some shade, Evan Diesel. We're going to talk about it. Jared Padalecki, speaking of throwing shade, threw shade at the CW for canceling Walker after 4 seasons. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, we're going to talk about Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World Season 2. It dropped yesterday. We were in the middle of a show. I had a lot going on, so I didn't really have time to go in and look over who the queens were and break it on down. But since we're doing a show today, as I promised y'all yesterday, see, look, I do keep my promises every now and again. When shit ain't happening in life. So yeah, with that whole situation, we're going to talk about Canada's Drag Race and all the other stuff that's coming out with that, and my overall thoughts on the 9 queens that's going to be competing. Also, there's a Canada versus the World cast member who is pleading with fans to stop running a joke that she feels isn't funny. It's Kennedy Davenport, so we're going to talk about that. Plus, this was revealed on a recent episode of Roscoe's that they're talking about season 1 of Drag Race was actually supposed to be a competition series they were going to do with a sidekick. So it's going to be like a drag queen and their stylist or something or another that they were going to be doing. So we're going to talk about that because Naisha Lopez revealed that, along with Chanel also revealed that tea as well. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, there's a American Idol contestant who is now an adult film star who's also trans, who basically said the show stopped him from coming out as transgender. So we've spoken enough times on this show and regarding how American Idol has been at the epicenter of a lot of homophobia and stuff that was going on in that show, especially with a lot of the queer contestants who appeared on the show, from Clay Aiken, David Archuleta, Adore Delano even, and also Adam Lambert, who's, in my opinion, the biggest homosexual to come out of American Idol. So we're going to talk about that. And I've been preaching in the choir about American Idol, and they out obvious homophobia since the damn show kicked off. And I'm glad I got confirmation on it in a lot of ways from a lot of people. But we're going to talk about that story. Plus, Lady Gaga, congratulations to Lady, or as I like to call her, Lady Gaga. The Fame Monster turns 15 years old. Child, we old. Like, damn, that album came out 15 years ago. That's been her career. So she's been in the music business for 15 years. So, well, a big superstar for that amount of time. So we're going to talk about that album. And she also revealed to Sasha Velour that she has been in the studio working on LG7 and what people can expect to hear from that upcoming era. Plus, Kevin Federline is sharing an update on Britney Spears' reconciliation with sons Sean Preston and Jaden James. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Jonathan Van Ness is finally breaking his silence, in regards to that Rolling Stone interview that basically just talked about how they were a nuisance on set of the show. And last but certainly not least, Carmen Carrera is clarifying that EW article regarding claims that Jenna Ma and Poe stole her life story. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And child, I got tea on that because I heard that the reporter over there that reported that is an F word. And in my opinion, is very pick me when it comes to certain queens, because there's a certain queen that he actually didn't even he didn't go to Carmen, get information, did the same thing to another drag race queen who I'm going to reveal has an upcoming interview with Joseph Shepard that y'all going to gag about. And that is an exclusive because I know about it before everybody else. So please tune in and continue to watch the show because, we spill tea over here. Even though our numbers may not be as big as all them other ones that's over there. So I know people who know people. So in regards to that, please hit the like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Allen Unfiltered. Before we get into the upcoming topics, let me check and see who's in the building. Onyx is here. Good afternoon. See, it's not a morning show like yesterday. I had y'all up in here at 10 o'clock. I was like, yes. I don't know if I can do that again, but this morning I woke up, my body was killing me because I had worked, excuse me, that's why I hate drinking soda. It makes me gassy, but I needed the fizz. Yesterday, it was crazy. I'm so tired this morning. I wanted to go to the gym so bad, but my ass, everything is killing me. And I think it's because I've been working out so hard at the gym lately, like with the deadlifts and all that other stuff. So you're working out every aspect of your body. And literally, I'm sore. And I think my issue with me when I work out, I do not stretch. I don't do the roller. I don't do nothing. And I need to start doing it because it's starting to catch up with me that I can't be out here just, oh yeah, I'm going to work out and I'm going to just leave. Chris, you can stretch them limbs. But anyway, so, but then yesterday it was like I worked the Yankee and the Mets game. We had a rain out. It was crazy because it looked like a damn tornado and people got drenched. I was lucky. I was indoors, so I didn't get wet. But I got OT, so I don't care. So that check will be lovely. But then in regards to that, it was just like it was a lot going on. I'm tired. I wanted to go to the gym this morning. I didn't get home till like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh hell no. We just gonna have to go tomorrow. But anyway, so honestly, I'm not. That debate is gonna be a joke. I already know what's gonna give. I'm not interested in watching two knuckleheads go at it for the sake of themselves because neither one give a fuck about the country. Biden or Trump. Biden pretends he does, but he doesn't. He's more interested in licking Netanyahu's taint than worrying about addressing the actual issues we got in this country. And I find it funny they want to sit up in here and act like, oh, we're not going to have an audience because of Trump. No, that's not it. I think that's part of it, but it's also for Biden because you never know who's going to slip in that room. Y'all thinking, people who pretend that they're for Biden, whatever, Democrat, whatever the case is, and they slip in the room and all of a sudden they start shouting at, the pro-Palestine genocide stuff, which has been happening a lot at a lot of political events, which they've been trying to shield a lot of people from on social media. But if you follow the right people on social media, you'll see the videos and start coming. And also if you go in your settings on Instagram and you allow political stuff to come through on your feed, you will start to see a lot more pro-Palestine videos. So Biden don't want that to address that big ass elephant in the room, and he keep ignoring it. He gonna lose this potential election. And I feel like also if Trump gets into office, we'd better just welcome a full-on fascist situation. So it could be that. But then again, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen once the country becomes what it becomes. But I don't understand why people going to vote for somebody who ain't do shit when he was in the first time. So it's a queen is late. Everybody, okay. I wasn't late. Y'all was the ones that were just early. Anyway, it's Halloween. It's Pride Month part 2. Yeah, yes it is. And that's why I always find it funny that gays say that a lot of times when they do dragon stuff, it's always Halloween. It's Halloween and Pride. Those are like the two main ones that the gays always do drag or whatever with, because that's the opportunity for you to dress up in a costume. So Halloween, I do feel like it's like we celebrate Pride twice a year. When you was 25 when the Fame Monster came out? First of all, I prefer the Fame Monster over the Fame. That's why it's like if you look at it now, they incorporate it as one full album when it was like the Fame was the album, Fame Monster was the EP. But the Fame wasn't like, I mean, it had a good enough amount of songs on it, but it wasn't like a full-fledged album. It's like when the Fame Monster came out and they attached it with it, I was like, okay, now it feels like a fully realized record. So it's like, if something happens during the debate that's gossip worthy, will you discuss it on your? No, I will. If whatever goes down, if I'm gonna get the highlights. So if whatever happens from the debate, because I'm not sitting through that dumb shit, we're gonna have Trump up there with his foolishness talking about people on cocaine. I was like, sir, I know you're not out here trying to accuse people of snorting drugs when number one, Junior has been notoriously known for inhaling the booger sugar up his damn nose. And word on the street is Trump snorts Adderall. So, or he has an Adderall addiction. So I know you're not out here talking about drug use. So pot meet kettle, or pot called the kettle beige. Lord, you said you was 4. Oh damn. Um, how old was I? I'm gonna have to do the math on that. I don't know. I was probably like on my late. I was probably maybe I was in my. Was I in my late 20s? I don't know. I have to do the math. But anyway, I ain't doing that now. But anyway, let's get into the show. And then we'll address the other stuff later. Oh, Robert, I also hope I answered your question regarding the whole Normani situation that we had a conversation about. I was like, maybe I should address it on here. Because I was like, I was feeling lazy and I didn't feel like doing all that typing. But what was it before we get to the show? Because you always sending me stuff. So now I gotta go into the archives and I gotta like look it up. Lord, see, this is why I gotta start checking my. Oh, somebody at Katy Perry gets asked by visitors on why she is working with Dr. Luke. Did y'all see that picture of Katy Perry where they had all the stickers on her Hollywood Walk of Fame and they said that she likes working with rapists? I hollered when I saw that. I'm like, because she's thirsty. She's thirsty for attention. And before I get to the show, I feel like with her, she is desperate for attention because quiet as it's kept, ain't nobody paying attention to that song. The new song that she has coming out, the clips we heard, nobody's inspired by it. I feel like the song is garbage. The chorus, okay, it was like, oh, it's cute or whatever. But here's the thing: if someone like an Ava Max of all people, who is like your D level pop singer. And there's no shade. It's just that Ava, you doing what you're doing, but you're not standing out like the Channel Roans, and you're not standing out like the Charlie XCX girls and all this other stuff. Your music is mid, and you have a couple of bops. And yes, I work out the Diamonds and Dance Floors at the gym, but the music is not up there up to par with all these girls where you can be invited into that conversation. But excuse me, what was I getting at? I lost my train of thought. Oh, Katy Perry's rollout is tired. I saw that she got out of a car going into some event, had this ugly dress on that came up, it looked like came up to her knees, and then had this train that had the lyrics to her new single on it, Woman's World. I'm like, girl, if this is the woman's world you want people to live in, I wouldn't, and many of actual, natural born and trans women, I doubt want to live in your world, your lame ass woman's world. I'd rather live in Cher's woman's world than yours because she had the better bop, but the better title. So I'm not feeling the song from what I heard, and I'm sure when the song comes up, we all gonna be like, "Girl, this is the shit you releasing." And to me, at this point, like she's out here, she was at another event where she had like this. It looked like I don't know if it were pants or whatever the case was, but it was like she had it up to her C-section scar. She had a coat on with no top, so her titties was out. And you know them big ass titties. If they don't get support in them, you're gonna be like Bianca Censori, where them shits is knocking at your damn knees when you walk at your young age of 40 or 39, I guess. And when I look at her, it's like, girl, now why are you out here trying to be Bianca Censori? You trying to be a Kardashian? You trying to be all these girls that's like, or Julia Fox? Like you trying to follow in that thing, but the music is not given. And to me, it's like, You can have an era, you could do all the things, but if the music is not matching what you're doing, then we looking at you like, girl, you a straight up clown. And I feel like you're gonna have this gonna be your Normani era. And I get it that you're thirsty because the last two albums you came out with wasn't giving. Nobody supported it. Everybody thought it was trash. And you thinking, and don't get me wrong, you can get with Dr. Luke, you can get with Stargate, you can get with Max Martin, but because they're big names and you feel like they're guaranteed successes. But guess what? Ariana Grande also worked with Max Martin this year, and her album flopped. So if the music is not giving, it don't matter the producer. If you the one that's coming up with the ideas and you writing the songs and you also helping produce, if you're not, because Max Martin, even though he is a genius in the studio and he has given us many a bops for many people, there's no guarantee that we're gonna go and support something just because a big name producer is on it. The music has to be it has to, the era has to be right. The visuals got to be right for the video. It's got to have some sort of authenticity. And I feel like this is what Gen Z is in now. Gen Z is all about, they don't care about the pomp and circumstance of it all. They don't care about all that bullshit. They want somebody that's relatable. They want some authenticity in the music and the artists that they represent or that represent them. That's why they like, Sabrina Carpenter. That's why they're riding for, Charlie XCX. That's why they're going for, I guess that's why they're going for Taylor Swift too, because Taylor Swift, even say what you want about her, but a lot of her music comes from a place of truth. And she's open and honest with her fans. And that's what the kids want. They don't care about all this, I'm living in a mansion and, all that shit that we all was spoon fed when we were kids because that was the aspiration. So, but then you also said something. What'd you say? Oh, you said, do Gen Z do podcasts? Because I'm watching a girl. She's asking why Chapel Roan is getting the sales a weekly increase and Normani seems to be that name in black houses. Is she? Because I don't know many people that keep talking about Normani. Now, when I go and I looked at Normani's, I seen recently she has been doing a lot more stuff on social media. You should have been doing that from the beginning, sis. They said she's a fan and embarrassed to be a fan because she's black and of a certain age, like in her late 30s or early 40s. First of all, both of her takes are not good. Number one, I will say this. I'm not supporting an artist just because they're black. I'm not supporting an artist just because they're queer. I'm not supporting an artist just because they're a woman. That identity politics shit irritates me. If I can't relate to you in some sort of way, I'm not supporting it. And I hate when there's certain people that follow me on Facebook thinking like, oh, well, because somebody released something that we supposed to just like it because of the icons that's a part of it. Like Ariana Grande with Brandy and Monica. Okay. I live for Brandy and Monica. I grew up with them, but if the song is not giving, I'm not supporting it. And that remix that Ariana did is about as trash ass as her song with Mariah Carey. It was unnecessary. It was uncalled for. It didn't even fit with the whole situation. I get you want to capitalize off of the fact that you use a sample of The Boy Is Mine or interpolation, but if the song is not giving, I'm not supporting it. And Normani, I listened to her album. She is not like, I don't give a fuck that you're black. I mean, that should be a plus. I want to see black girls out here doing pop music. I want to see y'all on the same level as these other pop girls that's dipping and doing it. We should be having Normani in the same conversation as a Sabrina Carpenter. But if the songs are not giving, I'm not supporting it. And to me, you give me basic ass R&B tracks. I'm tired of that genre. It's the same thing why I got mad at Kelly fucking Rowland when she was out here, had the opportunity to become my generation's Donna Damn Summer. Instead, she backpedaled and went into doing basic ass R&B and wonder why her career is where it is today. So if you're not going to take no risks, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not supporting it. So that was the irritation for me. But anyway, he said, industry deadlines and how a black girl feels weird like it. And first of all, here's the thing that irritates me. What the fuck does somebody's race have to do with you liking somebody? I'm not going to sit up in here and just be like, oh, well, she's white, so I'm not going to listen to her music because I can't relate. If you black and you eat pussy, or a black woman, right? And you a lesbian and you go down on another woman, there's a relatability there. Y'all both eat boxes. So how you don't relate to what Chapel Roan talking about? Or if you somebody that likes drag, Chapel Roan does drag. There's a relatability. And to me, it's like when it comes to songs, it shouldn't only be about, oh, well, if it's a black person and I can only relate to stuff they say, therefore I'm going to listen to it. Or if it's something with all black people in it, when you get people like Tyler Perry that just want to sit out here and exploit black trauma for a fucking check. That's the only thing I'm gonna sit and watch? No, because I expect more from my community than just nigga nonsense that people like him and people like 50 Cent and all these other people push out and promote. I'm not sitting there supporting that mess. If I was born and raised in it, I'm not gonna sit and only watch shit like that. Especially when there are black people that like science fiction. There are black people that like horror films. There are black people that like rock music. Where, if you look at history, rock and roll was created by black folks. Country music was created by black folks, even though white people try to tell you otherwise. And I've gotten to many arguments on social media where white people try to, well, black people didn't make country music. Yeah, okay. All right, Saltine, believe what the fuck you want. I'm gonna sit over here and I'm gonna tell you the history of music since I actually went to school and studied music. I'm not gonna listen to some rando on no fucking Facebook in the comments on some bullshit who's over here spreading lies about Beyonce being banned from country music spaces. I'm like, okay, where'd y'all get this source from? Because if the Hollywood Reporter and all these other mainstream people ain't reporting it, and it's some blog I ain't never heard of, that's continuously spreading lies and vitriol, I'm not believing the shit you're saying. So get off my line with that bullshit, as I always like to say. So I don't get the whole thing about people talking about that I can't like something because I'm of a different race or whatever the case was. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get clowned because I wasn't listening to what everybody else was listening to. I'm not putting myself into stereotypes that society has spoon-fed us to have to get wrapped up in, because when you're black, these are the things you're supposed to like. You're supposed to like baby mama drama. You're supposed to like black men walking out of their kids' life and treating them like shit. I can't relate to that. I actually have my father, who is a black man, has been in my life all of my life. So I can't relate to deadbeat daddy bullshit. If that's the thing that y'all want to get into and that's what you believe in and that's what you agree with, then go ahead and that's your shit that you got to deal with. That's why that's why they invented therapists. So you go to that and you work it out with them. But I can't relate because my daddy was in my motherfucking life and he's a black man. So I can't deal with all of that. Now I think I'm off my rant. How you doing, Big Bunny? And it's like look, I like what I like. If you have talent and I can relate and the production is good and I can relate to the lyrics and I'm like, okay, this person got talent, that to me is more important than, oh, I can't like somebody because they're not the same skin color. Like, how fucking basic are you? And plus, if you that close minded, then you just go stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I can't relate to people that are closed minded. I can't be surrounding myself with people that are closed minded. I like people that are adventurous, that like to do things that are out of the ordinary. That, okay, if you're not familiar with something, you should listen to it. When I was growing up, there was a lot of situations where I was in a tribe of people, and I guess maybe because that's the artist side of me, was that I was around people that open to different things. And I told y'all, me growing up in the hood, my mother was like, I don't want y'all just hanging out with just the people from the neighborhood and stuff. I want y'all to open your mind up to different people who have different points of view, different tastes and things, different cultures, and all that other stuff. So that probably pegs into why I'm more open minded, because I didn't want to just be around the same group of people. Because then, how do you learn? How do you grow? But anyway, speaking of learning and growing, let's get into the show, which we haven't even done that yet. And let's talk about Interview with the Vampire, which, child, let me tell you, I can't wait till Sunday because the season finale is about to pop off. And this season, I have to say, I actually just started watching it because I told y'all, with me, when I watch certain shows, I tend to binge watch a lot of shows. Like, I don't like to do the whole week to week thing. So I am currently watching Interview with a Vampire on Philo. And it was just announced, I believe yesterday, that they've been renewed for a season 3, right ahead of the upcoming season finale of this show. And I have to say, I only watched the first episode of the season, and I was going to watch it the rest of this week. So that way, by the time the season finale comes up, um, I'll be ready. I actually was reminded about it because I completely forgot. T.S. Madison was talking about it on Fag Talk. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be watching Interview with a Vampire. But there's so many damn shows that I've been trying to catch up. Look, they just dropped the third season of The Bear yesterday. So I got to watch that, even though I've heard mixed reviews about The Bear. And I'm like, oh, God, please don't tell me, excuse me, that they're falling into this territory of, because there was so much hype around The Bear, that it's losing that thing that made the show so special. So I really hope that that doesn't happen with Interview with a Vampire season 3. But based off of what they're talking about and the direction they're going into, bitch, I am excited. And I got theories because I'm like, I hope they retcon one of the Interview with a Vampire, the Stat movie that came out, the sequel with what's his name? Stuart Townsend, where he played Lestat. So AMC is taking another bite out of the Anne Rice Immortal universe. So according to Variety, it says AMC Networks has staked its claim for more Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. The series has been renewed for season 3 on AMC and streaming outlet AMC Plus. The outlets announced Wednesday. News comes this days after the show's season 2 finale, which airs on June 30th. The series was the first in AMC's expanding Anne Rice Immortal universe, which now also includes Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches, which is in production on season 2, and the just ordered tentatively titled Anne Rice's The Talamasca. Interview with the Vampire stars Jacob Anderson as Louis de Pont-du-Lac, the vampire who reconnects with interviewer Daniel Malloy, played by Eric Bogosian, nearly 50 years later after the initial sessions. Sam Reed plays the famed vampire Lestat, while season 2 also features Assad Zaman, who I have to say, I love Louis' interaction with Armand, who was wasn't Armand played by Antonio Banderas in the previous, like in the first movie? And the fact that they have like this same sex relationship that's going on. So I like the fact that they have, you know, that whole dynamic. And then they have Delaney Hales, and Ben Daniels. Now, Delaney Hales was not the original Claudia. Although I already heard what happened to her in the last episode. And if you've seen if you've seen the original movie and you read the book, you know exactly what I'm referring to. Some people was mad. They was, how y'all spoiling the fact of what happened? I'm like, are y'all new? Like, you never read Interview with the Vampire? That was like a book I read when I was a teenager. And and then I also read some of Christopher Rice's books because when I found out Anne Rice had a gay son, I was like, oh, let me read some of his stuff and see if he got that same spark as his mother. I like some of his stuff, but I never could really get into Christopher Rice like that. So I just stuck to my regular. I stuck to my Anne Rice, I stuck to my Clive Barker, and I stuck to my Stephen King. Those were the 3 that I stuck to in regards to like the supernatural stuff. Now, in regards to this, I feel like this is some excellent news. I could not get into the Mayfair Witches. If y'all were into the Mayfair Witches, definitely let me know down in the comments if you feel like I should jump back into the show, because I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't giving. So I bailed like maybe after the 3rd episode. I was just like, just not. I don't care. That's this shit. And I'm not familiar with the Talamasca. So I'm curious to see what that is. But child, but this is a lot because it feels like they're going to expand on this. And the good thing is, you know, they have Christopher Rice speaking when I was talking about him. He is an executive producer on the show. So with him being a part of it, he continued to keep his mother's legacy alive because, you know, Anne Rice passed away a couple of years ago. So with him being at the helm of being an EP, that's a good coin coming in with television. But they said when you buy the rights to 18 Anne Rice novels that have sold more than 150 million copies, in your wildest dreams, you hope there's a show as good as Interview on the other end. This is what Daniel McDermott, president of entertainment at AMC Studios, AMC Network, said in a statement. They said what Rowland has done with these stories and characters, working so closely with Mark as the steward of the universe, has exceeded the loftiest version of our expectations. We can't wait to see where the creative team takes the series from here, and know we are walking alongside the incredibly loyal and passionate base of fans who feel as strongly about this material as we do. And you know, they don't be shying away for stuff on AMC. They be cussing, they be showing nudity. I'm like, let me find out y'all up in here really pushing the envelope, because I never really thought like AMC was willing to go there with stuff, because you know it's basic cable. But from what I've heard, and I don't necessarily know if this is what's going to happen. But I have heard that season 3 is going to focus on Lestat being a rock star and that whole Akasha storyline. So if that happens, I feel like we need redemption, and I love you, Aaliyah. You did what you did with that when it comes to that film, but that movie was trash. I cannot stand that film. And don't get me wrong, I understood like Jonathan Davis came in and was just providing like the vocals and stuff and was coming up with the music and stuff for that film. But Stuart Townsend, you had a lot to live up to, especially when playing the Lestat character. And it just didn't, I don't know, just a lot of stuff in the film didn't work. It just felt very much like I don't even know how long the fucking movie was, but we'll just go with a number. It just felt like a 2-hour MTV music video. That's what it felt like. So I didn't particularly care, and I understood y'all were trying to capitalize off of that because that was my generation. The whole MTV thing was big, and you thought, okay, let's more pander to the youth situation instead of, you remember the rumors that came out about Tom Cruise being, how you doing, when he did the Lestat character. And based off of, you read the source material and all this stuff, but Neil Jordan is notorious for putting a lot of queerness into his films, particularly if y'all saw The Crying Game and things of that nature. That was what we were going to get with that. So I really hope that is actually, going to be fact, that we will see them go more into, okay, Lestat becomes a rock star. What was going on with him with that? Because so far, me watching, I don't know. I don't know if how much of Lestat is actually in this new season. Because like I said, I just started it. And, I like to binge shows. So I don't necessarily know like how far along because basically what we've been seeing is like he's been a figment of Louis' imagination. So people think he dead, but I'm believing in my heart of hearts he's not actually dead, because I believe that's where they go with that and all that other stuff. So seeing the other side of like where he's been while Louis and Claudia has been traveling the world looking for their tribe or whatever the case is, and then now we get to see this other side of him, like, okay, where he's been up to while they've been off doing their own thing. Maybe he went and decided to create a whole new life and becoming a pop star or rock star, and playing that whole thing up. And I'm also hoping like what they do with that, they work with some really good songwriters and musicians and stuff to really come up with some good music and possibly put out a soundtrack, because we could definitely use that. Who would be good for them to work with, who's actually been working really well and like putting music and stuff? I was like, you know what, maybe they need to hit up Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who is really good at soundtracks and all that other stuff, and get them to help out with the music and stuff for the upcoming season, because they're really good at doing like soundtracks. I love like the moody atmosphere and stuff. And plus, Challengers, they did a really good job on the soundtrack for that with Zendaya and all that stuff. That's a really good soundtrack. So I think that would be cool if they could actually call them up and work with them, and then get somebody to come in and sing the songs. I don't know if you necessarily want to get Trent Reznor to do the music, but y'all can write the stuff and have somebody come in and sing the tracks or collaborate, and Lestat, the actor who plays him, can lip sync to it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? You guys excited for an upcoming season of Interview with a Vampire? I am, and I would be interested, who should they get to play Akasha? You know who might be good to play Akasha? Now that I think about it, I was thinking Alexandra shit, but I was like, first of all, she already played Aaliyah, and y'all hate her for playing that part, so we're not gonna do that again. And I did like her as Storm. I was like, what if we could get um 2 people? I was thinking, I was like, maybe we can get either, oh my god, what the hell's her name? Jodie Smith, who is Joshua Jackson's ex-wife, because of all that chocolate that we get to see of her. Or I was thinking, since we think a musician, she has been acting lately and she's been getting a lot of critical acclaim and raves for her acting. I think Tiana Taylor will make a good Akasha. That's what my pick is. So I would definitely think like Tiana Taylor will make a good Akasha. So let me know what y'all think, or who you think, if they decide to go in that direction and bring Akasha in, who would make a good Akasha, and your overall thoughts in regards to like this upcoming season of Interview with a Vampire. But anyway, we have comments. And you said, it said it's okay to be a gay bar staple act. Okay. We love a staple act for the gays. 'Cause I don't care if you didn't write the song. Madonna didn't write Holiday, Like a Virgin, or Material Girl, Unbreak My Heart by Tony Brown. Yeah, there's been many artists who out here who some of their biggest hits didn't even write it. And that's perfectly fine. She didn't write Believe. And there's a lot of songs and stuff out here, but like I said, I'm not opposed to singing like if I was in that position, I'm not opposed to singing other people's music if I can relate to the song in some sort of way. I'm not opposed to having a couple of writers come in and we just like work out whatever ideas and whatever we have, and then we all come up with some stuff and write it collectively. Or I let the writers handle it, or whatever the case is. But I'm not giving you the ideas, so I should get some kind of credit because we all conjured this up together. I'm not opposed to, if I'm a writer on a script or whatever the case is, that I have a writer's room or a team of people that I trust in where I'm like coming up with ideas, plot points, character, arcs and all this other stuff, or a full on synopsis. And I have the writers co, and I'm like, okay, y'all start working, get like a team of 6, 7 writers. But the problem is this industry they don't want to pay nobody. That's what it is. Y'all want business, but y'all don't want to pay nobody. And y'all wonder why a lot of y'all movies is shit. Particularly that new movie that's coming out that I just saw the trailer the other day, and I was talking to friends of mine about it. The one with I forget the name of it. It's The Rock is in it, Chris Evans, and J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons playing Santa Claus. I guess he gets kidnapped or whatever. They bring in Chris Evans to kind of like help find him, whatever the case is. That trailer was so fucking horrible. I'm watching like, are y'all serious with this shit? And this was the movie I think also that Dwayne was late for, showing up on set and stuff. So I was like, And I can't believe the shit is being released in the damn movies. And they spent around $200 million on it. So I said, flop. That movie's going to flop hard at the box office. It looks terrible. The jokes didn't land. Although I did see that movie with, I saw another trailer too. There's that spy movie with Dave Bautista and his daughter. They got a sequel coming out. That was cute. And then there was another trailer that I saw today and I don't particularly care for Mark Wahlberg, but I am kind of interested in seeing. I forgot the name of it, but him and Halle Berry. Halle Berry plays a spy. She knocks him out, or whatever the case is. Brings him. There's like a list that gets taken where it's like when you can identify all the spies and stuff. I'm like, we've seen that plot so many goddamn times. Mission Impossible did it with the rabbit's foot. But this one, the twist is that they train Mark Wahlberg to retrieve the list because he's the one that's not on the list. So she recruits her ex-boyfriend to be a part of the whole situation. This whole shit sounds ludicrous, but when I watched the trailer, I was like, in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling it. But then once it got going and the action on it, I was like, okay, I'll sit and watch it. I already know this shit is about to be as memorable as Atlas, as Trigger Warning, as all these other movies that y'all come out with that just comes and goes real quick. It's like I'll watch it, I'll have a key with it, and then the next day I done forgot and moved on. Like most of Netflix and stuff. We watch it and we move on to the next thing. Oh, it's about that. I don't care if you didn't write the song, but and then you said they sold the song to be associated with them mostly, and that's what I'm saying. Like people shouldn't shy away from, so if you didn't write a song, that's fine. But I feel like what the problem is in today's society, I think maybe in America, I don't know if it's necessarily overseas if they do it, but if they do, let me know. That I think that for the most part, maybe it's American artists get a case of imposter syndrome where they feel like, oh, well, people won't take me seriously as an artist because I don't write my own stuff. And I'm like, who cares? I think the most emphasis that people have on the people that should get, oh, they don't write their own stuff, are rappers, because rappers sell themselves as being the type of artist that this is their life, this is their truth, this is their stories, they're our poets. But if you're a singer, I don't feel like it should be necessarily a requirement that you have to sit, because Usher don't write a lot of his stuff. There's a lot of artists that don't write a lot of their songs. I saw also that people were making a big deal out of Chris Brown's bulge, where he was suspended above the people at his concert. I'm like, have y'all seen his dick pics are all over the social media? We're talking about Chris Brown's bulge like this is something new. It's like we've been seeing all that meat that boy got between his legs. Y'all getting all excited over a bulge. Like, it must be a slow news day. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about speaking of, things I'm excited about, let's talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar, who got herself a new job. And so the full cast, or more of the cast, is starting to come out in regards of this upcoming Dexter prequel. And now the latest story is Sarah Michelle Gellar has been added to the cast. So Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was part of many of shows that I've grown up watching. She was on All My Children. She will forever be my Kindle. Sidebar: I just heard a story the other day that Jonathan Jackson from General Hospital is coming back to play Lucky. He was like one of my favorite Luckies. I did like Greg Vaughn because he was on Charmed at one point, and I love me some Jacob Young, who eventually went on. I think he went on to play, or he was, I don't know. I don't know the timeline, but he went on to play JRO on All My Children. I like Jacob Young too. However, Jonathan Jackson will always be my favorite Lucky because he was the original. And plus, he was a part of one of my favorite movies with Andrew Keegan, Camp Nowhere. But anyway, this is about Sarah. So Sarah, I've been following her career since Swan's Crossing. Since we talking about soap operas, that's why I brought that up. So Swan's Crossing, that was my show. I was mad when they canceled it because they were trying to do like a whole soap opera for teenagers. They was really taking risks back in the 90s. That's why I miss them days. But anyway, so she went on and did that. She did All My Children. Then she moved on and she got the biggest successful show of her career, which was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then after that brought her into so many other avenues, which was, doing a lot of horror movies, where she wound up in Scream 2. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then she did Cruel Intentions and Scooby Doo and so many other things. And then the most recent show that she was on was Wolfpack, which I saw the potential with that show, but I felt like that y'all took too long to get that show going, and it got canceled. It just didn't have the same impact as like Teen Wolf with Tyler Posey, in my opinion. But now she got a new job over on Dexter or Original Sin. It says, according to Hollywood Reporter, Emmy winner Sarah Michelle Gellar has signed on to Dexter Original Sin, which follows the young Dexter Morgan, played by Patrick Gibson, as he becomes an avenging serial killer in Miami. Says Sarah Michelle Gellar is a pop culture icon who perfectly rounds out the best cast. Our best in class cast, featuring Christian Slater and Patrick Dempsey, among others, says Nina L. Diaz, president of content and CCO Showtime. We're thrilled to have her return to the Showtime/MTV Entertainment Studios family and join the origin story of the Dexter franchise. Gellar will have a special guest star role as Tanya Martin, the CSI chief at the Miami Metro Police Department and Dexter Morgan's new boss. But why she got to be a guest star role? Make her role big. But I guess depending on what she does, they'll probably give her a big role. But so she's going to be like Lieutenant LaGuerta, played by my girl Lauren Velez, who, I live for her ever since New York Undercover. So it also says that the description of the Dexter prequels is set in 1991 Miami. Dexter Original Sin follows Dexter as he transitions from student to avenging serial killer. When his bloodthirsty urges can't be ignored any longer, Dexter must learn to channel his inner darkness with the guidance of his father, Harry, played by Christian Slater. He adopts a code designed to help him find and kill people who deserve to be eliminated from society without getting on law enforcement's radar. This is a particular challenge for young Dexter as he begins a forensics internship at the Miami Metro Police Department. So, I was a fan of Dexter. I loved the show when it was on back in the day. It did get a little ridiculous down the road. Like that last season was meh for me. And then they brought the show back with his son Harrison. That season was all right. I don't necessarily remember it all that well. I don't know, maybe it's because I loved the original series so much. I had high expectations for it, but it's like, you know what? I am curious to see like what the direction will be in regards of where they'll take the franchise forward in regards of everything. And I have to say the one that's playing Dexter, he kind of cute, but we'll see. And I hope like what people don't do is that they get into the situation we need to compare him to Michael C. Hall's performance. I feel like we need to judge people on their own situation and not try to, well, he's no Michael C. Hall. Oh, he's not giving what he gave. Oh, yeah, you're right. He's not. He's a younger version of that character. So I'm sure his whole situation is going to be a little sloppy in regards of, him kind of adapting this code and how he was able to perfect it. But I have to say, it's not just Patrick Dempsey and Sarah Michelle Gellar, I'm excited for, because when I was reading the rest of this, and it's funny, they got younger versions of a lot of the characters on there. Now, guess who's playing Maria LaGuerta, which I gagged about? Child, they got Christina Milian playing Maria LaGuerta. I said, now I'm definitely there for that. And I could definitely see Christina Milian playing that character because they sound similar in the way they talk. And plus, I like Christina. Like, the music career ain't go nowhere. She good at, we ain't gonna get into the conversation about Hennifer stealing her vocals. But, for play. But Christina, I was expecting, I was hoping that she would make it as a musician. But here's the thing, acting, you get better checks with that. So, good for her. And also they have James Martinez playing Angel Batista, Alex Shimizu as Vince Masuka, and Reno Wilson as Bobby Watt. So they have a lot of people playing basically younger versions. And then they got Molly Brown is playing Dexter's sister Deborah. And Patrick Dempsey is playing someone by the name of Aaron Spencer. So they have people on the show who are basically playing younger versions of a lot of people who work for the Miami-Dade PD, or the forensics unit, based off of, what they had on the original show. So I'm excited for basically what they're going to bring with this show, and hopefully it doesn't suck. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for a new Dexter prequel series now that you've heard a lot of the new cast members that's becoming a part of the show? Are you here for Sarah Michelle Gellar? First of all, anything Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be in, I'm going to watch, because she's like one of my favorite actresses, and I like the fact that she continues to play within the thing that people love her about. Anything horror based, anything in that whole world, monsters, creatures, whatever, because of Buffy. That's what I wouldn't mind being a genre actor. As long as there's roles that come out that I can play those characters and they're interesting, I'll continue to play them. I don't care if you typecast me in that sense of me just being a genre actor, rather than me having to just, play the same type of person in every damn movie. Now that I would get bored with. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic and talk about Paul Walter Hauser, who in a recent interview threw some shade at Vin Diesel. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably not familiar with Paul Walter Hauser. He's in Inside Out 2. He was at a press junket, and he's an Emmy-winning actor. He's about to appear in the new Fantastic Four movie. He's, his Paul Walter Hauser's name is going to be on a lot of people's lips in the next couple of, maybe like the next year, because there's a lot of movies that's coming out. He's also, I believe, set to play Chris Farley in the upcoming biopic based on his life, which I was like, that's genius. So, in regards to this story, so he was promoting Inside Out 2. He implied to Cinema Blend that, some stuff about Vin Diesel, because one of the interviewers told Hauser that his career means that he's like Vin Diesel. And he went and was like, please don't refer to me as Vin Diesel, and then threw in a whole bunch of accusations. Now we have the clip, and I want to show it to y'all, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
It's cool to get to be a part of a character that kind of has an arc and helps in the end. Yeah,
you're like Vin Diesel now. Like,
please don't say that. I like to think I'm on time and approachable.
I don't know what I'm allowed to talk
Sorry,
about.
I love people, but when I hear stories about Hollywood actors who get paid really well and mistreat people, I out them constantly, and it's a blast. It's cool to get to be a part of a character that kind of.
Okay, so that's basically what he said. And I saw there were some people that were upset by basically what he said. Now, here's the thing. I didn't mind what he said all that much, because I'm of two minds on it. I was just basically like, okay, so you basically, I saw some people was like, well, it was uncalled for. Why would you come out and say that about Vin Diesel? You didn't even work with him, all this other stuff. But basically, he was just going based on hearsay, which I think it could also be a problem, because when you come out and say, oh, well, you don't show up on time or you're not the nicest person, if you experience that situation, I feel like you could speak on it. Like, for example, Dwayne Johnson, when he came out and said what he said in regards of the people over there at the Fast and the Furious franchise, where they're a bunch of candy asses, they're not showing up on time, they're always late, they're always doing these things. But then again, maybe Dwayne Johnson is not, we can speak on that, but maybe Dwayne Johnson is not the perfect example because remember that story that came out not too long ago about Dwayne Johnson not showing up on time to set when it comes to things, having people wait long periods of time. The fact that he peeing in water bottles and all this other stuff when it's like you could take your lazy ass to the fucking bathroom and release the beast in a urinal. So that's what you should have been doing in regards to that. So I get it, but then again, what if Paul Walter Hauser, because, they said he's been one out here that has spoken up and, spoken up about situations with people in the industry because what was it? There was something in the comments where they, I want to go to the comments actually because some people was talking about how he's a real one. They said Paul is a real one. And another person said that, okay, we're not reading that woke disease bullshit. So they said, I remember when he called out Jamie Taco for stealing his lines. He truly is a man. Love him in every single that I've seen him in, every single thing that I've seen him in. They said consummate pro every step of the way. I wish the rumors of him being the lead in the next Tarantino movie were true because he tear that stuff up. Probably because he was probably supposed, the rumor was he was supposed to be in that Critic movie or whatever that he ain't making no more. And they said that I respect that he has the balls to call out actors, but he literally said he's going off rumors and hearsay. That's a bit corny and unfair. So there were people that were coming to his defense and a lot of stuff, but I do agree that, that is unfair because A, Vin Diesel's not here to defend himself. So you're going back, and then B, you're going off of stuff that you've heard. Now, if you have the experience of dealing with a Vin Diesel being late or being disrespectful to cast members and stuff, then I would be like, okay, your opinion is valid, but you haven't had the experience. You can't go off on stuff you heard from people that have worked with him, and then you speaking up for them because they don't have the balls to call out Vin Diesel on whatever it is that he's been dealing with. So to me, that was a bit unfair. So while I like you, Paul, I like the fact that your career is on the rise and all of that stuff. Just tread lightly when it comes to stuff like this because, you got celebrities out here suing people for defamation of character when they come out and they say certain things. We did talk about that the other day when, what was it? That Lee Daniels had said some stuff about a celebrity based off of hearsay and Sean Penn. Because I had to sit and think about it once. I was like, who was it that he said something? He had heard some stuff from people about a rumor regarding Sean Penn beating on Madonna or whatever the case was, and some stuff that he had heard from people, never witnessed it, didn't know if it was true. It was hearsay. He had gotten sued for defamation, and then he had to come out and apologize, and all was forgiven. So a lot of you celebrities, like, I live for when y'all come out and y'all say stuff. Like, for example, I really wish that Kalani, because I saw a recent interview she did. I didn't watch it on the Breakfast Club because I don't like that damn show anymore because the show has pretty much lost its momentum for a while. And they got 3 idiots that work on that damn show. But nevertheless, Kalani was on there and a friend of mine sent me the video and stuff and the report this morning. It was written. So that's why I read it. I didn't watch it. And she basically was talking about how on her new album, a lot of people who were supposed to work on her new record were chickened out because their team and pulled them away because she's been pro-Palestine. So I was like, girl, name them. Like, I need you to turn to Sudden Track and name these people. So I really wish that she would have did that. But I say all that to say, so that's basically what I was talking about is that in that case, because you experienced it, I would have liked to have called them out and named them. But you don't have the wherewithal to do that. So I feel like, wow, this was cute. And I like when celebrities call people out. This was the wrong time to do it because you did not have that experience with Vin Diesel to make the comments that you made. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Drop it on down in the comments below. Okay, so now, last but certainly not least, let's move on to our next shady comment, or post, I should say. And let's talk about Jared Padalecki, who is throwing shade at the CW. First of all, do people still watch the CW? Like, I can't tell you the last time I watched CW. Quiet as it's kept, I don't know where the channel is on my television. I'm sure it's on channel 11 or whatever the case was. But I'm just not, it's not giving what it, look, yeah, CW ain't giving, hasn't given in a long time. But recently he did an interview with Variety. He's 41 years old. He revealed that he saw several early indications that the network was changing ahead of the cancellation of his series, a reboot of the Chuck Norris-led Walker, Texas Ranger. He said, I feel like the CW that I was a part of last year is not the CW that I was a part of under former chairman and CEO Mark Pedowitz for the entire almost 20-year stretch that I worked with the network, which is why Supernatural probably lasted as long as it did, because it was 15 years. But remember, before Supernatural, Jared Padalecki was on a show called Gilmore Girls. So that's where I knew him from. And Matt Zuckery, who his voice is like, he has such a sexy, deep voice. So I've always liked Max Zuckery. But anyway, but I also like Jared Padalecki. But anyway, so moving on. So Padalecki, you know, did Gilmore Girls and Supernatural on the WB before the network became the CW, said he was told by the network's parent company, Nexstar, that they were going in a different direction, moving away from scripted television and fear of mixed programming. Saying they're just changing the network around where it's not really going to be a TV network as much as it's going to be, here's something fun for an hour that you'll never watch again, but hopefully you'll watch it. And it's cheap. And I hate to say that, but I'm just being honest. I mean, fuck it. They can't fire me again. I'm just being brutally honest. I think it felt to me like they were looking for really easy, cheap content that they could fill up time with. And, people reached out to the CW and Nexstar for comment. They haven't said anything. So, you know, they canceled Walker, and he revealed it on May 21st on his Instagram, writing that the show would not be airing on CW for a fifth season. So yeah, this was the Instagram post that he posted, and he wrote that it is with heavy heart that I share this news with you. Walker will not be airing on CW for a fifth season. It's a tough piece of news to be sure. But we are so thankful for the Walker family that has been built both on set and off. After 4 seasons together, we have felt the love and support for the entire Walker family, and we will be forever grateful. Too often we get to be the ones receiving the praise and gratitude and flattery, and all too often we miss the opportunity to put it back where it belongs with the fans. In this world, home isn't a place, it is a relationship. Places can't be lost, relationships can live forever. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. It's going on. Like, I feel like, child, you give me one of those Lifetime Movie of the Week speeches. But anyway, I will say this. The only reason why I brought this up is because I like Jared Padalecki. I have never seen a single episode of Walker, Texas Rangers, so I don't even know if it's good. I have heard people say it's a mixed bag. I did watch the original Walker, Texas Ranger with Nia Peoples was on there at one point. Damn, I forgot the black guy's name. He passed away a couple of years ago. That was on there. That was Walker's partner. But Chuck Norris was on the show. It was on CBS. And I actually liked it because it was literally like he was always beating people up with martial arts. So that's why I like the show. The plot, I couldn't tell you what the shit was about. But I just love watching like martial arts stuff. So that's why I particularly like Walker, Texas Rangers. So I don't know what type of thing that they gave. But truth be told, and also another reason why I brought this up is because CW been trash for a long time. I know they're keeping All American on there. I've been seeing that floating around and stuff, but I have never seen a single episode of All American to even tell you what that show is about. I just know it's about a bunch of footballers or something or another, right? But anyway, but yeah, I totally agree. It's like the CW is probably at the bottom of the total poll in regards of content. People ain't going over there to watch stuff. The only time I guess, like, if you saw anything from the CW popping up over there, it would be if it ends up on Netflix, which is what's happening with a lot of shows, because Your Honor, a show that I've caught many a times on Paramount Plus, because of Showtime, is now popping up on Netflix, and people are just now discovering it, which makes me think maybe Netflix needs to just start buying up a lot of shows that people, you know, or people need to start outsourcing their stuff to Netflix, because it seems like people when your show ends up on Netflix, people discover it, it becomes this big thing. Like White Collar is becoming popular because of Netflix. We have what was the other show? The one with Suits, that's becoming popular because of Netflix. A lot of people discovering shows because y'all are outsourcing everything to Netflix, which makes me think that a lot of y'all, it was a huge mistake for a lot of you greedy ass studios to want to jump into the streaming service business. Y'all shouldn't have jumped in. Sony was the only smart one that decided, you know what, we're just going to outsource our stuff. We're going to let y'all bid, and y'all can get our stuff on your streaming service, and we'll make the money and stuff that way. So that's what that's what I would have to say on that. And I like the fact that Jared spoke out, because I like him. I am still currently like binging, because I did miss a couple of the seasons of Supernatural, so I'm rewatching that whole franchise. So I say all that to say, sir, keep speaking out because I know it gets frustrating when you do this. And he's like, well, fuck them. They can't fire me. I'm like, I'm never going to do something over there at the CW ever again because they're not really producing content. They produce a lot of cheap stuff. And it's cute or whatever. You can produce something on the cheap. But the thing is, it's not about, oh, we're just going to produce cheap stuff with the hopes that you buy it or you want to watch it. The fact of the matter is, y'all got to put in the money for the promotion. Like, nobody even knows where CW is on their television. Nobody's checking for the CW like that. Who is your demographic? Who is your audience? Is Gen Z even watching CW? Because once upon a time, when I was growing up watching the WB and the CW, that was a network that catered to my generation, where it was just like young adult programming. When I would go and I would watch Supernatural, when I would watch Gilmore Girls, when I would watch Felicity, when I would watch Puppy the Vampire Slayer, when I would, and all the other shows that they had on there, on all the superhero stuff, when I would watch Arrow, when I would watch The Flash, when I would watch, what other shows did they have on there? I don't remember. Black Lightning, which I hated his fucking costume, but nevertheless, I liked the show. And so when y'all were creating all these shows, you had a point of view of who this was for. It was for my generation. And if other people wanted to come along and watch the stuff, then it was great. But now, who is the audience that y'all trying to cater to for the CW? And these days, like I told y'all, younger people and people like myself, we ain't watching TV like that. We watch streaming services, or I'm watching YouTube. So that's what we get in our life. And a lot of people creating fan-created stuff and things. So it's like, the CW, ain't nobody checking for y'all over there. So, Jared, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Now, hold on, because we have comments. It said, from what I heard, the CW is actually close to bankruptcy. That's what they did. Well, it's because also, it's probably because they were greenlighting shows that should have been canceled a long time ago. There were shows that I would see on them like, why are you getting another season? Y'all should have at least did like a cap of like maybe 5 seasons tops for your shows and move on. Because there were shows that was on, like The Flash started losing momentum after a while. Supernatural, as I love the show, should not have lasted 15 seasons. It was just a lot of the shows on, and it was like, yeah, y'all would not cancel nothing over there. So I think that was probably a problem too. It's like Spotify, Netflix, and Hulu are the true winners. There were here first, and everybody doesn't like change it because they built their catalog. And that's what this is like. You know what? Netflix, I like, because Netflix was in the beginning, back when we was doing Blockbuster, Netflix was the one that was on the rise, where they came up with this idea of like, you can go on the website, you can pick a couple of movies and have it delivered to your home. And you can get on there and you can watch like these DVDs of a movie. And my father sit and burn them DVDs. So we have copies of the films, and then he sent it back. And then it became this whole streaming thing. It was like, oh, well, now you can go on a website and actually subscribe and watch the films. And then Hulu was the same way. So it felt like we don't need all these things. Like, I don't mind Netflix. I don't mind Hulu. I don't mind Apple TV, because Apple TV has really solidified themselves and has quality stuff on there. Dark Matter is a show that I'm currently watching. I got 2 episodes left. That show is really good. It's like one of those mindfuck type shows. If you're into like mind-bending sci-fi type stuff, definitely check that show out. And so they have really good quality. And then there's a new show on there with Eva Longoria that I need to check out, where she's like a socialite who has to pack her family up and move to Spain. That came out, I think, 2 days ago. I need to check that. So they have really good stuff on there. Prime Video, I think, also is another one that's good that they could stay. The rest of y'all, we don't need a Paramount Plus. We don't need HBO Max. We don't need Disney Plus, because y'all really don't have nothing on there. And y'all shows suck too. The Acolyte is just the shit that need to be wiped from everybody's ass, because I don't know who came up with the stuff on that trash. It's just like a lot of the Star Wars scripted stuff is garbage, and y'all should just outsource y'all stuff. So we don't need Disney Plus. We don't need Disney Plus. We don't need a Paramount Plus, although I do like my Drag Race, but y'all going to have to start outsourcing that stuff. So I feel like that's where we're going to go. Sooner or later, we're going to hear a lot of these streaming services are about to disappear, or people are going to get into churning, because now I just heard Paramount Plus is raising their prices again. So it says the CW is literally Hallmark, Family TV, and Canadian. So that's exactly why I ain't watching that channel, because I don't watch none of that. Don't be surprised if Candace Cameron wound up with a show on there. Plus, they got lucky because TV ratings were super down. That's why Grey's Anatomy is so. That's another show that need to be canceled. Why is Grey's Anatomy still on? So, yeah, I'm over it. But anyway, let's move on and get to the talk of the hour. And let's talk about Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the world, where the tea came out yesterday. And when I saw the list of queens, I have to say, well, first of all, when I first found out about Drag Race Canada, it came out, okay. So it came out yesterday, it was during the show. People were telling me, oh, the thing is out already. And I said, I want to do a proper, conversation rollout of Canada's Drag Race on the show. And plus, I was busy and stuff yesterday, so I didn't really want to add that on. And I'm here for another hour talking about Drag Race. So I was like, let's do it in a proper way. And we're going to talk about it today. So the queens have been revealed. There was 2 of them that I had heard about yesterday that I knew basically because I went on my Instagram and when it popped open, and I guess they heard me mention something about Drag Race, 2 people popped up. It was Alexis Mateo and Kennedy Davenport. So when I heard those, I was like, oh, they're gonna be on the show. But then let's go down the list. So the first queen that's gonna appear on this season. She said, I'm still here. Shout out to Tisha Campbell. So we have oh wait, is that it? Oh yeah, I'm on the wrong damn thing. Hold on. Now I got it. So the first queen, because we are going to talk about Kennedy Davenport in a second. So the first queen that we have that we're going to talk about is Alexis Mateo from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 3, All-Stars 1 and 5. Now, Miss Bam, I am glad that she's going to be in this season. I love me some Alexis Mateo. She is a definite force to be reckoned with. I was just watching, I've been watching a lot of the old episodes of Drag Race All-Stars, American one, and I just watched the one that Alexis Mateo was on. So seeing her being a part of Canada and seeing where she's at in her state of drag, I feel like, that's going to be awesome when that happens. Now, because I just watched All-Stars 5, so now I'm up to All-Stars 6. And to me, I feel like Alexis should have been in All-Stars 5. I didn't particularly care for the top 4 that they had up in there. Now, it was cute or whatever when she won. The queen that won that season. However, I really felt that she should have been in the top 4. So here's fingers crossed that she actually makes it further and she actually makes it to the finale and possibly wins. But let's not pull no stunt and be like, okay, well, we have to make sure Canada Queen win. Well, if they don't step their pussy up in regard to drag, because I be telling y'all, I don't particularly care for Canadian drag and that whole aesthetic. But if y'all ain't bringing it, then it can't be a forced win, which we have been seeing that happen a lot of times, where it's like people don't get they just due, so now y'all be forcing wins and stuff on other franchises. Like, for example, Jimbo, she got fucked on 2 seasons of her own franchise, so then y'all decided, oh yeah, let's bring her over to the American version, and then let's make all these challenges so it's like it's a shoo-in for her to win. And I'm not taking away from Jimbo's drag. I like Jimbo. I like her whole aesthetic. I like what she's all about. However, the producers was producing, and we can't sit up here and say like they wasn't. Now, the next queen that they have coming on the upcoming season is Cheryl Hole from Drag Race UK Season 1, Drag Race UK versus the World Season 1. Now, Cheryl is one of the first of the two of the first queens to return to Drag Race for a second go round on a Versus the World franchise. And I'm hoping that she actually makes it far as well, because I do like Cheryl Hole. Of course, it's a play on Cheryl Cole. So, I love my British queens where it's like they take a pun and they take someone's name and just turn it into a whole little drag pun. So, I love stuff like that. Now, the next queen that's supposed to be coming on, and I don't know how I feel about this necessarily, but is Eureka from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, 10, and All-Star 6. And, she was on We're Here at one point with Shangela and Bob the Drag Queen. But, of course, they try to say that's not the reason, but I'm going to say that it is. Now, after the situation that happened with Shangela and them allegations and this, that, and the other, and one of my friends actually sliding into my DMs who's a sex worker, to tell me that other story that came up with Dakota Payne, he said the same thing happened to him. Now, I'm not going to release what his name is because he has to do it in his own time. And I said, you know what? I will let the people know that you slid in my thing. He was like, but I didn't think people would take me seriously because I'm a sex worker. And people think that when you work in the sex industry that, if somebody does something inappropriate to you, then, you should be complaining because that's your line of work. And I was like, wait a minute. No, first of all, just because I work as a sex worker, which that's a profession, it's a job. It's not just I'm just sitting up there just fucking for the sake of fucking. I'm getting paid to fuck. And when they go and they tell me, it's like, no, your feelings are valid. Like if somebody did something to you and it was against what you wanted and you weren't interested and they don't understand the no means no, that's assault. It doesn't matter that your line of work is sex. So to say all that, so, after all that happened, it was like everybody had to, I guess they decided to clean house and bring in new queens. But the good thing is, look, Bob the drag queen, her career is still, sickening. She's got a lot going on with that. She went and toured with Madonna. Then she's now, I don't know if she's currently filming The Traitors or they're done filming The Traitors, but she's going to be on the upcoming season of The Traitors. So Bob is booked and busy. And Eureka needs something to do. But my thing is, with all the stuff that's come out, and I don't think that interview that she did recently is going to clean up a lot of the accusations. Because remember, right after we talked about it on this show, how she got into it with Kim Chi. Kim Chi read her down to the floor, talking about she had cysts and pus and all kinds of shit, that she was wrapping up with duct tape, don't wash her clothes, that she stink. Then we had the allegations come out about allegations I heard regarding someone saying that Miss Mamas is a meth addict, and then there was another thing that came out also regarding her not paying designers. That story came out where she wasn't paying designers to create her outfits. So was she saw all the shit herself that she's going to be on Canada versus World, or are these the outfits that the designers are accusing her of not paying for? So, and then let's not forget about the whole thing where she had her Nicki Minaj moment where she had Booger Sugar on her and said it was the assistant, and the assistant had to take the fall. So, I'm not all that excited for Eureka being on the show this season, but if y'all like it, I love it. Now, the next queen that we have coming on this upcoming season is none other than Kennedy Davenport, who I am excited that she's about to be on the show because, she gives me my glamazon life. Kennedy never ceases to amaze me in regards of how her whole runway looks. I have been watching, and I was like, wait a minute. There is a show that I've been watching Kennedy on. It's the one where they have on Wow Presents Plus, where you see a lot of the queens that are doing like the Vegas residency. So I do like that show. And then they talk about they extended the residency out in Vegas. I need to definitely go check that out. One of these days I'm gonna get my ass to Vegas and I want to go check out that residency because I definitely want to see them perform. And I like Kennedy, and I love the fact that she is like an old school drag queen. She's someone who doesn't, like Alexis Mateo, does not mince her words. She does not bite her tongue. And she says it like she means it. And that's what I particularly like about her. So her coming on and showing off her looks and really turning it out, she's definitely going to give what needs to be given. And I truly would love to see her win, especially because, she was up head to head with All Stars 3 winner Trixie Mattel, because she was in the top 2. And, that's the day when they chopped Shangela. And I know Shangela gagged because she thought she was going to be top 2 or possibly win. And they didn't pick her. They chopped her from the top 4. And Kennedy ended up being top 2, making it all the way to the finale. So it was, your top 2, as I said, was Kennedy Davenport and Trixie. And Trixie wound up winning. But Trixie's famous, popular in her own right, and she's been very successful in doing what needed to be done. Oh, excuse me. And so, so I'm excited to see her. Now, the next queen that I want to talk about is La Cajena from Drag Race France Season 1. Now, she is following in the footsteps of La Grande Dame as the first French queen on a Versus the World series. La Cajena is repping Le France on Canada versus the World sophomore season, which probably be good because got a lot of French people that live in Canada, French Canadians. So that'll be cute. But, and she had basically, she had a short time on Drag Race France because she placed 10th in season 1. But she definitely made an impact, and the queens left for her. So with her coming in where she gets to be similar to Gothy Kendall as the pork chop of the franchise, and then you get to come into a spinoff. Speaking of which, I don't know if it's just me, or I hope I didn't get my queens wrong, but I think Gothy Kendall, while I was kind of looking at her with like her drag or whatever, Miss Mama's, I have been seeing her on Twitter posting dick pics and stuff. Child, I did not know she had all that meat between me down there. But it's always the skinny ones, right? But anyway, so I'm excited to see how Lakahina. See, one of the things I've always loved is that when you get those pork chop queens, how they managed to fit within the whole situation. Like, how has your drag elevated since then? When you come back, you get that whole redemption, and you really get to let your hair down and really perform and not be in your head so much, which I feel like not LeGrand Dom, what Gothy Kendall did when she was on her season. She was in her head too much, and it was like, they kept rooting for you, like, really bring it, really bring it, really bring it. And she wasn't bringing it. And finally they chopped her. But Miss Mama, well, let's just hope that Miss Mama's doesn't fall into the same situation. Now, another queen, we have another UK queen from season 4, and that is Le Fil. Well, I'm saying a UK queen, period. But this one is from season 4, because I don't want people thinking like, oh, we got multiple season 4 UK queens on this show. So Le Fil is going to be on there. She's from Yorkshire, and she was eliminated in her season as well. So she was an early elimination because she placed 7th. And she was chopped during Snatch Game. So she was one of the rumored UK queens that was going to be coming back, and it turned out it was true. Because remember, there was an early list of like Canada versus the World girls that was going to be on there, and they were saying like Le Fil and a bunch of other people, but it turned out Le Fil actually was true. And I love me some Black Pepper, Chad. So I would have loved to have seen Black Pepper come on this show, but apparently she's not on them. But she fell victim to, since I'm bringing up Black Pepper, Black Pepper was a lip sync assassin of that season, and them two was up for elimination, and Black Pepper annihilated her in that lip sync, and that's why she's getting the opportunity to come back. Now, do I think she'll get to go far and all that other stuff? I don't see it, but it is an opportunity for her to really showcase herself on this upcoming season and have that redemption arc. So we're hoping that that's what she brings. Now, another queen that we have that's going to be on the show is a Canada's Drag Race season 1 queen, Lemon, who also appeared on Drag Race UK versus the World season 1. So there's a lot of season 1 stuff. Except this season of Canada versus the World, she's on season 2. Now, it would have been cute or whatever if she was on Canada's Drag Race season 1, Drag Race UK versus the World season 1, and then Canada's UK versus the World season 1. That would have been ultimate cackle. But we can't all have our ones, right? Sometimes we got to come in second or on the second version of the show. So she is joining Cheryl as a Drag Race UK versus the World season 1 survivor. I'm a survivor. And, she was eliminated first on her return when she made top 5 on her original season. She got chopped, and then she got to come back, and then she was eliminated again. They do that a lot when it comes to these queens, where it's like you on the show, they chop you. Then they're like, oh my God, I think we made a mistake. And then they bring you back again for that opportunity for you to really push yourself to the end, and then it doesn't happen. So the Raptures of the North, Le Monde's unaired runway package from the UK versus the World was fantastic, and her performance on the talent show was not worthy of a bottom placement. So this makes her, hopefully 3rd time's a charm. And hopefully she makes it farther than she did on a lot of her previous seasons. Now, here's one from Canada's Drag Race that I think will definitely bring it in regards of the entertainment and possibly the fashions, but I really hope that she brings it as a well-rounded drag queen, because she was a mess on her damn season. But let's talk about Miss Fierce Alicious from Drag Race season 3, or Canada Drag Race season 3, I should say. So she placed 4th on her season and won the IDGAF award along the way, because she was very unapologetic in her attitude and the way she presented herself. But she didn't come over as a create a bitch on the show, and she definitely was a cackle and entertaining. But she did work my nerve, because I think also it's because a lot of when these Canada queens, when y'all talk, y'all voices kind of, the way the accent on us, I was like, okay, y'all need to relax. Like, y'all doing too much. And y'all be getting on my nerves with the melodrama. So I have a hard time really like wrapping my head around Canada's Drag Race. Sidebar, I did hear from a friend of mine earlier that they said there was a known podcaster that works on the Mom Network that is not a fan of Canada's Drag Race either. I said, thank you, Jesus. I'm not the only one. Because I don't really particularly care for them. I just don't feel like the drag lives up to the same level. Maybe we're spoiled over in America because, you know, I've seen so much amazing drag growing up, especially like in the whole drag world, going out to clubs and seeing like real fashions and, you know, beads and gowns and that whole glamour drag that I've grown up watching, you know, coming up in New York and Manhattan. And then you see the other type of drag, which is the gender fuck stuff. And you see more of the alternative drag, like what you see with Evie Oddly and things of that nature. So I've seen all of the drag and how creative the queens could be without having to resort to TV shenanigans in order to have that. So when I watch this show, I feel like I have high expectations when it comes to stuff because it's like when you've been doing and supporting drag, the art of drag and drag artists since before Drag Race was even invented. I think that's why I'm always in my brain the way I am about certain situations. So they said Saboteur-in-Chief Vivian Vanderpuss is nowhere to be seen on the cast list, so she's free to operate with as much unbridled chaos and as many prolapse dresses as she feels fit. That's coming from Pink News. This is where I'm referencing a lot of who the queens and stuff are. But then I also did notice she did the Canadian version of The Traitors. Is that where they got the whole idea of incorporating drag artists on or drag race girls on The Traitors? Because, you know, in season 1 we have Peppermint, season 2 we have Bob the Drag Queen. Hopefully season 3 we get more than one drag race girl. Like, I would love to see on The Traitors, I would love to see possibly Candy Muse on there. I would love to see who else? I would love to see, well, we actually have Bob the Drag Queen that's already going to be in there. We talked about that. But I think I would love to, I was like, would I want to see Marsha 3 times? No, she wouldn't last. I would like to see a Bianca Del Rio appear on there. She'd definitely bring it. But I can't see her doing that. She'd rather just tour the world. Why don't I get Lady Bunny on there? Lady Bunny probably be interesting too. Or, you know, I could see I would like to see like a multitude of drag race girls on there, not just one. So let's get at least a good 2 or 3. Just like if y'all could pick multiple people from the challenge and then multiple people from other things, y'all could bring them on there. So there's that. So then the next queen we have is Tynomi Banks, who is the final contender in the 11th Queen Strong Cast list. I do like Tynomi. Tynomi also has worked with Nelly Furtado on Nelly's upcoming new album. So I'm actually excited to hear what they had cooking up. Because I like, you know, and she is someone who is a staple in the Toronto drag scene. And she had that title long before she was a part of Drag Race. And the fact that, of the matter, like I said, that she was able to work with Nelly Furtado is an easy, you know, was no easy feat. And I think it's awesome that, especially when we have a lot of, you know, legendary pop acts who are working with our community on music or drag queens and working with them. Because you know what? There are some people out there who come up with some really good drag music. And I saw an article on that, and I really wish that I would have like brought that up. That I saw, oh, they had on Pride Now the 20 best songs by drag queens. I feel like, you know what? I should probably, I'm going to pull that article up. So then we should go through them songs. But right now we're going to focus on Drag Race. So my picks in regards of the queens that I really want to see make it all the way to the end, that I'm really rooting for, no shade. But I'm here for Alexis Mateo. That's my girl. Cheryl Hole is like, okay, that's cute or whatever, but yeah, I'm going with Alexis Mateo and I'm going with Kennedy Davenport. Those are like my top 2. And, you know, I'm sure that the other girls will be good in their own right and they'll definitely bring the entertainment and all this other stuff. But I'm going to be biased and I'm bringing up my American queens, and Kennedy and Alexis are my favorites to really make it far. So I'll say all this to say, because I was going into the whole long-winded deep dive in this situation. What do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited with this cast? Are y'all excited for the upcoming season of Canada versus the World? I haven't even seen the trailer and stuff yet, or to Meet the Queens, if they even dropped that stuff. So I definitely need to watch that just so that way I can get a feel of what we're going to expect for this upcoming season. But so far, as I said, I told y'all my favorites that I'm looking forward to. And of course, I like Cheryl Hole. Miss Fierce Delicious, I wasn't really caring for her season, but we'll see if she's matured since her season on this upcoming season. And you already know how I feel about Eureka. But let me know what y'all think in the stories down below. Okay, so now we have 2 comments. It says someone said Peacock is safe. The free services are winning more. Well, we'll see. Are we waiting for next week for your Grammys discussion? Wait, the Grammys is coming out? What's going on with the Grammys? I didn't hear anything about that. Oh yeah, so 6 days ago, they said the 20 best songs by drag queens. Let's go down that list since we got it. So they said number 20, Katya featuring Trixie Mattel, Ding Dong. Alaska Thunderfuck. Hi. I do like that song. Number 18, Mirage Amuro. She's such a oh yeah, I do like that song, Chad. I do like Mirage. You know, that's what her clicking them damn shoes. And she performed that song on Drag Race. I do live for that song. Number 17, Adore Delano, I Love You. Now here's the thing about Adore Delano. I like the fact that she is one of those queens that are out here that's really taking the whole shit seriously in regards of, you know, her performance and all that other stuff, and really being like that drag artist. Because I feel like a lot of times the girls don't really be doing that and stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of girls be out here doing drag stuff, and it just feels like, I don't know. It just, for some reason, it doesn't give me what I need. Like, I be feeling like a lot of times the drag race queens don't be taking the music seriously, and I feel like that it should go hand in hand in regards of like drag performance, the art of drag and stuff. And then you come up. I just want to pull this picture up so that we can have context in regards of when we go down this list. So I'm gonna just leave that picture there. So, and make this a segment. Oh wait, let me take that out. First of all, hold on. See, this is funny how I'm doing this. Live. I said, let me create a banner so that we actually turn this into a segment. Look at me creating segments on the fly. The 20 best songs by drag queen. So let's continue to go down this list. It has 17, number 17, Adore Delano, I Adore You. I do like that song. And you know, I like a lot of her earlier stuff. I know she at one point decided to go into some whole Courtney Love type of vibe with her music. And I know I did see a recent picture of her post-transition where she revealed that she is back in the studio. So I'm curious to hear what Adore has to say, I mean, musically post-transition, and what her voice sounds like. Because I'm sure, like, when you're taking the hormones and you're doing all these other things, everything is going to change about your demeanor. The way you were when you were Adore Delano pre-transition and that whole drag race and all the other stuff you're going through at that time. It's like, this is a new situation that you're going into. So hearing the difference in your vocal, like how you sing and how you carry yourself, I'm curious to hear what she's going to come with her upcoming album. Number 16, Bob the Drag Queen, featuring DJ Mitch Farino. Mitch Farino's a friend of mine. How you doing? Purse first. Welcome to the room. Purse first. I did like that song. And Bob has come out with a lot of stuff since then. You know, he did come out with Gay Bars, his EP. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. It is a good EP. And Bob was going in with the, you know, with the raps and all the other stuff and the lyrics. So, and look, they've been out here, you know, doing their own thing, as well as, you know, they got to perform Madonna and be the MC of the show. So that was cute. So congratulations to them. Number 15, Trixie Mattel. Hello. I don't know. Whenever I see somebody go, hello, that's, you know, I always think, hello. But anyway, so They did it's from their Blonde and Pink albums with the beach rock song Hello Hello. It said that she's kind of got this whole Dolly Parton vibe. Here's the thing: I told y'all I'm not really into country. I barely listen to the Act Two of Renaissance or that whole the country's not my judge. Although I do like Orville Peck, and it's probably because he's attractive. That's probably why I'm into Orville Peck, and I'm glad that his career's starting to take off. And another thing is his foundation is country, but he's been experimenting a lot more with his sound and his music and stuff. So that's probably got why I've been getting more into his stuff. Where I did listen to his previous album, and it felt a little doom and gloom to me. But I like Trixie, so kudos to her that she's out here doing what she's doing. But we did announce on the show that they're taking a break from the entertainment industry and stuff for a while and being on social media. So number 14, Gloria Groove. That's what she called, Groove Vermello. I do like Gloria Groove. She does a lot of dance floor type stuff. So I like that whole, that whole EDM vibe. Gloria Groove is from Brazil. So you get a lot of that Brazilian funk vibe mashed with like dance floor ready EDM and that sort of thing. Where it's like you could dance to her stuff, you could work out to the stuff. And Gloria Groove, I do like her stuff. So definitely check her out if you haven't. Number 13, I thought this song would have been higher, because it's like one of the biggest songs, in my opinion, that came out of Drag Race, and that's "Sissy That Walk." I do love that song. Unless they paying your bills, pay that bitches no mind. So that was the quintessential 2014 theme song from "Sissy That Walk," and they played it. They used that song a lot during Bianca Del Rio season. So according to Rolling Stone, they said the track led off Born Naked, the 2014 album that dropped alongside the sixth season of Drag Race, arguably one of the most iconic seasons because that was the Bianca Del Rio season. And they had a lot of people on there: Bianca, Adore, Courtney X, what's her name? Trinity K. Bonet. We had, that was a really good season. Jocelyn Fox. It was a lot of queens on that show. That was a good show. I mean, a good season. Darian Lake. We had a lot of girls on that show. And I even like the music video. Some of the music videos on that damn season be so cheap looking. Here's one queen that I will say that really puts in the work in regards of like quality drag music, like a drag queen who makes quality music. I got to give it up to Priyanka. And I told y'all I don't particularly care for the Drag Race girls over in Canada, but Priyanka, I have to say she definitely brings it in regards of the quality music and stuff that she does, and her music videos eat too. So she comes in at number 12 on Rolling Stone's list, and they said Priyanka, when they said her song Priyanka with Lemon come through. I do like that song though. That is a good damn song. So Priyanka and Lemon know they're bad bitches on Come Through the Stars, who became besties on Canada's Drag Race Season 1, continued their Lemyanska 2020 domination with the track enticing pre-chorus and catchy chorus made to sing along to at a drag show. After a pair of verses from Pre, Got a Supersized Umbrella, About to Put You in the Shade, Lemon suddenly delivers a fierce rap verse about leaving boys breathless and does exactly that with her bars. And I have to say, Lemon definitely ate with them rap lyrics with her 16, her sweet 16. And number 11 is a queen who has garnered a lot of success and never even had to step a foot in a workroom on Drag Race. And that is Pablo Vittar, who has a song called Amor de Que. Now, I remember like when I used to live with my roommate, Ricardo Tavares, who was Brazilian, and he's like a well-known promoter. He does like the harder parties and stuff. I remember when I told him I was a fan of Pablo Vittar, he said he can't stand her because her voice, he said her voice she always be just ODing in regards to the way she be singing, or it's just a lot of melodrama that's attached to it. But I think a lot of people like the idea of Pablo because, first of all, the body is sickening, and she definitely gives it in regards to like that whole pop thing. But I don't know, for some reason, I feel like maybe she doesn't really, her career hasn't, I don't know, she hasn't really popped, I don't think, in America. Like, she's well known amongst the LGBTQ circles, but I don't know how big she is here, but I know overseas, everybody lives for her. So, and they also, I don't know if you had, they said, in regards to her song, Its pre-chorus features a silly play in Portuguese, Eu senti tu senti. Well, I don't know. First of all, I don't speak Portuguese, so I hope I probably done fucked it up. But they were talking about basically it's a safe sex song and it's about ass eating. The song is featured on Vitar's album 111, which contains the singer's foray into English with Flash Pose alongside Charlie XCX, who had featured Vitar on the Pop 2 hyperpop standout I Got It. I feel like that Pablo should probably go more into the whole hyperpop sound because she was doing that before anybody even knew what the hell hyperpop is. But now, let's move on and get into the top 10, which, child, I'm starting to live for this. I'm starting to live for the list, but we'll go through it because, Rolling Stone, y'all be getting the gays mad and stuff, or the people mad when y'all have y'all list. Now, number 10, I will say this is a bop, but I feel like it should be higher. RuPaul's Call Me Mother. Guess who's back in the house? Here's click clack and about 5-fish feminine. It's like, that is my song, bitch. Look, quiet as it's kept, RuPaul barely know the words to that damn song. So I was like, ask her to ramen on the fly. I think she did a video where she was trying to do that song and started laughing because she couldn't do the lyrics. Fritchie feminine up and comer from the Clintons to the Obamas. I keep it tight. Now they call me mother bitch. But anyway, so I live for that song. It was basically her foray into like doing rapping over a house music beat. Some people, I think even Azealia Banks was trying to say she was trying to copy her. I'm like, girl, you did not invent rapping over a house beat. First of all, y'all not going to play in my face with Miss Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah was rapping over a house beat long before there was a fucking Azealia Banks. So, bitch, you're not going to sit up in here and call us all types of F words and then try to hijack our sound. Like I told you, Cakes the Killer is another queer artist, actually, who has rapped over a house beat. So if y'all like that sound, and I did love the whole idea that RuPaul has played in that whole wheelhouse in regards of rapping over, like, that was something different. And I did love the fact that he did that. And I do like the American album. I am American, American, red, white, and blue. I do like that song. Now, so shout out to her, and I hope she does more. Well, she actually did do more rapping. She did that on not the recent album, Black Butter, the album before that, where she did a couple of songs where she was rapping all throughout it. They were cute though, but not as impactful as Call Me Mother. Number 9 is Valentina A Prueba de Todo. I do not know that song. I'm not familiar with it. So, okay, we'll move on. I'm not really familiar with a lot of Valentina's music. Now, number 8, now I will say this. The many of songs the queens have written in the finales of, the show, especially when it comes to All Stars, I will say this song 8. And that's Alaska, Katya, Detox, and Roxy Andrews doing We You Wrote You. I live for that song, even to this day. I still listen to it. And it's funny enough, the song still pops up in my rotation. Whenever I be having living my drag fantasies, and I be listening to some of my drag race girls and their music, it pops up in the rotation when I'm listening to a lot of the songs from the other girls. So it's they always have we already know about the tradition of Drag Race, how they always have the queens basically in the finale. They got to write a song or they got to write to a RuPaul track. And then they have to perform it in the finale. And then RuPaul makes his decision on who he wants to make it to the final. And then they crown and all that other stuff. So Read You Wrote You, in my opinion, is still one of those songs that still stands out to this day. Especially when Katya says in her Russian accent, that's a rash, not a herpes sore. So when she says all of that, that makes me laugh. I even like, even though Roxy's song part wasn't all that, I do like Roxy's part in the song. So to me, it felt like there was no weak links in that whole thing. But I did live for the part where she was doing the choreography and moving around and the realness of the hair. Like she was giving hairography and all the other shit. And then we had Todrick over at the judges' table. He was eating, he was living. And that's like me too. I was living too. I was living right along with them. So that to me is like one of my all-time favorite Drag Race finale bops. Number 7, they picked Shea Coulee featuring Lala Star and the Vixen, Cocky. Now, I do like that song. I like Shea Coulee's music. I feel like Shea Coulee is also slept on. I think she also released a new album or EP of sorts this year. So, but a lot of times these girls aren't getting the promotion with their music that they should be getting. So I definitely like the song. Whatever happened to the Vixen? I know the Vixen went through it and where her season of Drag Race, and I know she's been doing like a traveling show where she brings out a lot of what's it called, Black Girl Magic. Like I love that she does that whole thing and like showcasing and highlighting a lot of Black drag queens, as we should, because there's a lot of girls out here that definitely eat that we should be supporting, especially seeing like the different types of drag, especially that Black queens do. So I did like that song, and I do like a lot of Shea Coulee's music. So definitely check out if y'all can. Now, Gloria Groove is back on the chart again at number 6 with Al-Qaeda. I was about to say Al-Qaeda. Now it says that she delivers fiery rap bars about a metaphoric circus over a creepy xylophone reminiscent of Melanie Martinez's Crybaby and the drums from Imagine Dragons' Believer. The track even makes an appearance on 2021's Just Dance video game, where fittingly a jester teaches players the song moves. Now, I will say this, I live for Melanie Martinez, and I do like that Crybaby song, and Melanie Martinez is such a weirdo, but it works for what she's doing. But funnily enough, I don't think I know that song. Maybe I do know the song, but I don't know it by name, because I have listened to Gloria Groove stuff, but I don't remember. I don't know. It's a lot of times like out of sight, out of mind, and I don't be remembering people's songs like that. So I need to like indoctrinate in my brain a lot more. So number 5 is Divine's Shake It Up. Child, why is You Think You're a Man not on here? I don't get why that song's on it. That was like an iconic hit from Divine, where they actually played that song in the first episode of Queer as Folk. So few drag queens have impacted pop culture like Divine, the iconic drag character of Harris Milstead, along her acting credits with John Waters, including Pink Flamingos. Divine dropped numerous electro disco bangers in the early 80s. The synth-filled Shake It Up, written by high-energy pioneer Bobby O, stands out as a favorite. Divine's legacy continues to this day, as she is the inspiration for Little Mermaid's depiction of Ursula the Sea Witch, and pop star Chappell Roan paid homage to the icon while performing a Kentuckiana Pride. They have Pride in Kentucky? I guess so, if Chappell Roan was there. And shout out to her. I know people was mad at her, speaking of Chappell, for, why are you performing in Kentucky? Why are you performing in these places where they don't care about drag and gay people and stuff? First of all, real activists will go to the places that people are scared to go. Hence why they're doing We're Here. And you see a lot of the drag queens going into these red states and trying to change the minds of bigots and pushing and challenging their beliefs. So the smart thing to do is, you don't want me here? I'm gonna come to this town. I'm gonna do a small show, and I'm gonna perform in these areas where y'all don't care for the gays. There are gay people that exist in Kentucky. There are gay people that exist in Iowa and Idaho and the North and South Carolina and all these other places, and a lot of the red states and Texas and all of the stuff. So why wouldn't I go there and perform? You'd be a pussy not to. Number 4, they picked Violet Chachki, Ali X, Le Comte de Brigot, Mistress of Violet. Now, it's also saying that Ali X and Violet Chachki embrace the darkest fantasies on Mistress Violet. Chachki embodies the role of the dominatrix or bitch with a whip in Dior tights, and the pair sing about over gothy, catchy 80s synths. The track's video sees the pair dripped in Schiaparelli and filmed on an analog camera, bringing the lyrics' burlesque BDSM visions to life in a retro-futuristic cyberspace. So I will say this, I do like Ali X. I think a lot of people really don't be checking for her like that. I know she did release new music this year. And so if you get a chance, definitely check her music out. But I mean, she's kind of gone into this whole really dark gothic synth pop type of vibe and stuff about her. I think she's also Canadian, and seeing Violet Chachki like getting into that, it was great. Speaking of which, sidebar, since we're talking about Drag Race girls, I was recently listening to, and I've been having it on repeat lately, Aquaria has a DJ set mix that was released on, the thing about Apple Music, they do like a whole, and this is a sidebar situation. Apple Music does this thing where it's like they'll put out for certain occasions a DJ list or like a DJ set or whatever the case is. Now it's Pride season, so they have the annual Pride situation. I forget what it's actually called. Let me go to my Apple Music and look it up. So they have it's called DJ Mix Pride 2024. So Aquaria actually has a mix on there, and she was giving me my life. It was giving me very much like Studio 2000, Party Monster, that whole vibe. Like, if me explaining that, it definitely gives you the vibe of what that type of music sounds like. It's very electro clash. I wouldn't say, I think electro clash basically is the godfather to what hyperpop is now. Because to me, there was always electro clash. You know, I was out there supporting those girls, where it was Fisher Spooner, Peaches, La Tigre, there was so many other. There, we even had Amanda Lepore was up in that whole vibe. Caswell, there was so many people, and some of them still make music to this day. But that whole vibe and sound, Mount Sims and all those other type of artists, yeah, a lot of them didn't really last, but some of them actually continue to still make music and have created, have had a huge impact. And she was given that type of vibe and sound with her set. So if you have a chance and y'all happen to subscribe to Apple Music, definitely check out Aquaria's DJ mix, because you will definitely not be disappointed. Now, number 3 that we have on here is Conchita Wurst, Rise Like a Phoenix. Now, speaking of which, when we were talking about bearded queens, because remember we were talking about that with Evie Oddly earlier, Conchita Wurst was a bearded queen who could sing her ass off and won Eurovision when she performed Rise Like a Phoenix. And this was back in 2014. So this was 10 years ago. So she made history in regards of, like, her country or whatever, but it also says that she made history in regarding queer representation. So that's good or whatever, but is that top 10? No. So we have Pablo Vittar, number 2, with K.O. Pablo Vittar is a pop star, as you know. Yes, she's a drag queen who made history as the first drag performer to play at Coachella, but her artistry is defined more by the pop-perfect songs she's released over the past several years. Through boxing metaphors, K.O. hears Vittar sing about falling hard for a new love. And she, they also said that K.O. became the catalyst for the singer's stardom after serving as a single on her debut album, Vai Passar Mal. She earned co-signs from fellow Brasileiras like Anitta and Luisa Sonza, along with joining Lady Gaga on the remix to Chromatica's Fun Tonight. So she had her in that. That's a cute song or whatever, but okay. Number 2, okay. Now, number 1, I'm sure y'all can guess what the number 1 song is on the list. Anybody? Somebody? Let's scroll on down to it. It's a RuPaul song. You better work. Got the girl. Do that twirl. Do your thing on the runway, bitch. So anyway. So the article says the following. It says RuPaul's early 90s hit was one that changed everything. Released as the lead single for Ru's 1993 debut album, Supermodel of the World, the dance song helped break the drag glass ceiling and became a club anthem. It was so beloved that even Kurt Cobain was calling it one of his favorite songs. The glitzy, catchy track is an instructional one to help you locate your inner diva, and it was just as important in making RuPaul the world's most famous drag star. She would break new ground as the face of MAC Cosmetics and later became the first openly gay talk show host. 2 decades later, the star would lead the charge in further helping popularize drag culture with the long-running Emmy-winning competition Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, from which many of the stars on this list have launched their careers. So there you have it. So that's the list. We went through the top 20. I wanted to do a top 10, but I was like, yeah, let's just go through all of them and bring this up. I think I meant to bring this up before, but it's funny how the universe, like, bitch, just make it now, which is why we did it on the fly. And here you have it. So my question is for you, because I can't think of no other songs on the top of my head on which should make the top 10, but I feel like it'd be more entertaining for you guys that are watching this to drop in the comments. Do you agree with this list that they came up with in regards of the 20 best songs by drag queens? What are your favorites? What songs do you like from your favorite drag artist, your drag queen's favorite drag queen, that you feel like did not make the list that should have been on the list? Should the list have been longer than 20? Because there's a lot of queens out here who have been making really good songs. Or is it that they're accurate with this, where I was saying before that maybe there's a lot of drag queens who do put out there are a lot of drag queens that jump into the whole music situation that put out music, but in regards of like the execution of those songs, they're not giving. So what are your favorite songs that made the cut, that didn't make the cut? What songs you feel like should have been higher? This is, in my opinion, will be an interesting thing that I would love to see y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what your favorite songs are, whether they did make the list or didn't make the list. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, we do have a lot of comments, speaking of which, on this story. And so let's get to them. Okay, it says, so Onyx says, I don't know if I'll watch this season, to be honest. Maybe just keep up with the placements, but I already know who makes it to the end. I wonder if I actually I should have asked my friend when we was talking earlier, but we had a lot of things that we were talking about. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to it. So, you said the category changes. I like that Hustle That Cat song he's using now. Oh, you're talking about RuPaul? He does have a lot of bops. I did like Catwalk. Catwalk was a good song. So RuPaul, every now and again, he'll come out with a good bop. Sometimes when you listen to them records, the songs is riddled in cliches, and I'm like, that was a chop. But for the most part, RuPaul do be having some good songs, and I think he just be thinking a lot of, okay, what songs can we use to, what songs can we use to basically help with the show and what we're doing with the show? A runway song, the closing song, like I'm a Winner. I live for that song too. I'm a winner, baby. I do love that song. Did you see Adore, Courtney, and Bianca reunited recently? Oh yeah, I did see that picture. That there was a picture with them, and I was like, first of all, Courtney looks great. I love me some Bianca, and Adore, I'm definitely feeling her. Like she's turned out to be a beautiful, I can't say young lady because, we all in the same age bracket, but she turned out to be a very beautiful woman. And speaking of which, we was talking about Courtney Act or whatever. Wait, she's not a part of that song. You know what song should have been on there? And that damn song is a bop. Why did they put Boy as a Bottom? I do love that song. That song is a cackle. The vocal is on point, and it is a bop. So Rolling Stone, let's not try to be like, oh, we got to pick the serious stuff, or something that follows in the confines of what a pop song is. Boy at the Bottom is a good damn song. Felix says he doesn't know the lyrics. Well, quiet as it's kept, you don't even know the names to a lot of the queens that be on that stage either, which is why I found it funny when they made that joke during the roast. He said on All Stars 3, it took him 5 days to record Coleman. Yeah, I could basically believe that it takes a long time because it's like, the amount of consummation of the lyrics that you have to recite, especially at the speed that you have to do that as, I can imagine how that's probably a lot. And you really, if you're going to perform that live, that's definitely got to be a mouthful. And you know what? That's another thing too. Like, I really would like to see RuPaul get up there and actually, why doesn't he tour his music? Like, I'm sure that there was like a sort of a RuPaulapalooza, like play on her own words from Drag Race. I would have created like the next thing, and here, look, I'm giving y'all this idea. It's free. I'm not going to charge you for it. Why not come up with a festival, like a ultra, like, because that's the sort of ultra music festival thing that you put in the comments, Felix, and we'll get to it. Why don't you create a RuPaulapalooza, whatever, how the fuck you say that damn word, and a RuPaulapalooza. Maybe that's the way they pronounce it. And just have like a festival of Drag Race girls that get up there and perform. And it's like a festival. So it's similar to what you have with your All-Stars, not All-Stars, like DragCon or something similar to like that. Or even like the residency that y'all have with the Drag Race residency that you have. There's like it's an opportunity for people to see their favorite Drag Race girls performing their music at a festival with RuPaul's name on it, because these are the queens that came from that. And then you can bring other people that are associated with World of Wonder and all that other stuff in the show, and they have that festival. Because I've been saying for the longest, we have so many festivals and stuff, and they shouldn't only be popping around Pride. Why don't we have a festival for LGBTQ performers, where it's like you have a festival, people pay their money, and they get to see all these artists up and coming, and already people who have already made the name for themselves. Child, I'll even MC it. So they should come up with something like that. I think that would be a brilliant idea to showcase them, similar to like Lilith Fair or Ozfest, something like that. Or that y'all just worrying about putting up all the money you would have to put up in order for that to happen. Yeah, that herpes line was hilarious. It said, I like the song Shay did on All Stars. Oh, yeah, that was a good one, too. I saw Fisher Porter, it was in Ultra in 2011. I said, I love their remix of Come Into My World from Carmen. Yeah, that was a good one, too, especially like the production on that. It was like, well, also being on stage with Madonna and Rio is another highlight for Pablo. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was thinking about that, too, while I was doing the story. He said, because I said, guess what it is? Supermodel, of course, because, that's the main go-to song that everybody's going to go. Native Love from Divine is another iconic song. Look, Divine had a lot of bops, a lot of really iconic songs. And, it's that RuPaul used to perform at clubs and stuff till around 2000. Yeah, that was like before, the Drag Race became what it was. And then he was getting more into his movie making bag and stuff. But it's like, yeah, you do music. You should be out here promoting. But I guess he feels, me promoting it on Drag Race and the amount of money that I'm making from that show, I'd rather do that than have to really be out here spending time to actually rehearse in a studio, do choreography. I'll do it for the show when I got to get up on stage and I'm promoting Cake and Candy or whatever song I got coming out. But to me, actually get up there and actually perform and rehearse and perform in front of a live studio, like a live audience where I'm in drag and it's fucking hot. But I'm like, sis, that's a coin. Get your little dancers up there, have them do all the work, and you just walk back and forth on the stage and you just sing your songs in your wig and your outfits. But I guess it's like RuPaul ain't doing all that. That's a lot of work. But anyway, so let's move on because we got a lot of Drag Race stuff to talk about. I know I added that other topic at the last second, but we got a lot of drag stuff to converse about on the show. And oh wait, I didn't even close my other Canada's Drag Race team. Because we was talking about Kennedy Davenport, who was a part of Canada's Drag Race. And, she is asking fans to stop a running joke in which they spell the performer's name wrong ahead of the season's airing. Kennedy Davenport, who first appeared on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2015 before returning to All Stars 3 just a few years later, is back for round 3, crystallized and ready for the runway. Shout out to Pink News for this story. So before going up against the gag-worthy cast of Canada's Drag Race Canada versus the World, which includes 2 fourth-time returnees, the French Pork Chop and Cheryl, she got some things to say. One of those things, it turns out, is how to spell her name. If you cast your mind back to 2018, when Kennedy made the All-Stars 3 finale, the Dancing Diva of Texas sent out a now legendary tweet in which she wrote, "I'm still here, love on me, hashtag Team Kenny." Though the first tweet is now deleted, the second, sorry, I spelled my own name wrong, LOL, I've been drinking, remains on the Twitter, which is now known as X. Now, I do have that photo, so I was like, let me just pop it up so that way y'all can see it, and then we'll just get back to the rest of the show. So, yeah, this is the post. Team Kenny, she'll not spell her own damn name, which is funny, by the way. But if you've been drinking, shit happens. Now, prior by yesterday, June 26th, cast reveal of Canada vs. World Season 2, the hashtag Team Kenny has been making the rounds, but Kennedy, with the D, has asked fans to let it go. In response to a fan joking that they were Team Kenny once again, the Queen replied, "Please spell it right. I'm asking you. It's a running joke that isn't funny anymore. I don't want to mislead new fans. Please stop." She replied to another fan with just Team Kennedy, please, and a third by asking, "Please do the proper hashtag or don't at all." So, now Kennedy, is up against 8 of the queens competing to succeed Raja O'Hara as queen of the motherfucking world. Because remember, top Raja O'Hara, and that's why I said what I said earlier when it was talking about the Canada queens, being a part of the show, because I'm like, wait a minute. So now we're gonna get to a point where the Canada girls ain't even good enough for their own franchise. An American queen had to come over there and basically win y'all shit. So I think that that's what a lot of people are we're talking about regarding that. So I like Kennedy. I get it. It was an old joke, whatever the case was. And I guess people was running on. I don't think people meant anything by it. I just think a lot of it was, we're going to call it Team Kenny because it was cute. It was an accident or whatever the case was. I don't think it's necessarily a running joke. But funny enough, the way I look at it is that it kind of works in this whole thing because Team Kenny, it's like a little cute little nickname that they've come up with you regarding your name, where I don't think you meant anything by that, but it's like the fans have taken it and turned it into that. So maybe they should, if they would explain it in that way, if that's what y'all were thinking, then maybe Kennedy would be a little more understanding. But if she's asking the fans to to just basically respect my authority, in the words of Carmen from South Park, then let's respect that. So shout out to you, Kennedy. We're rooting for you. We're all rooting for you to do the damn thing this season. So I'm excited to hear what you're going to bring. And I ask all of you watching, what do you think of this story? Or do you think that Kennedy is just blowing this a little bit out of proportion? Or it should be a situation where it's like, and just respect what she has to say, respect her authority, and keep it moving in regards to that. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on to our next drag topic, and let's talk about the first season of Drag Race and this tea that came out from Chanel. And damn, I wish I had the clip to show y'all. I should have looked this up earlier. And then that whole thing about Roscoe's or whatever the case was, and then that way, we would have been able to talk about it. But unfortunately, I don't have it, and I'm not going to sit up in here and look for it because we'll be here all day. So let's just get into the topic. So I was watching Roscoe's, which is the show that's over in Chicago that's, hosted, moderated. I would think it's more or less moderated by, oh my God, what the hell? I'm sitting here forgetting people's names, child. I had a brain fart. But anyway, let's just get on with Naysha Lopez. Thank you. It just came to my head. And then, Baddie's on there. And so basically Chanel was on there. She was on there by herself. Normally they have two people, but I was like, with Chanel iconic behind, she basically could hold that show down on her own. So she deserved to be up there by herself. So the latest story, and shout out to Pink News for this team, they revealed something about the first season of Drag Race, which gagged me. I was like, really? That would have been a really good concept. And I really feel like they should revisit that concept, actually. And I'm going to tell you the concept in a minute, but setting it up, I was like, you know what? That concept is cute. Then maybe they should do something with that. So they said RuPaul's Drag Race OG Chanel has revealed that the show's inaugural season in 2009 originally cast each queen alongside a costume designer who would appear with them, but the idea was scrapped. Way back in the late 2000s, pop culture shifted forever when 9 drag queens walked into what seemed to resemble RuPaul's garage to film the first season of the little show called RuPaul's Drag Race with nothing but a Vaseline-covered filter on the camera, some heels, and a dream. Now the TV juggernaut and all its global and interglobal spin-offs are a completely different set of beasts, but they could have been even more different had the original season 1 plans been realized. The first queen ever to strut into the workroom, Chanel, appeared at Roscoe's Tavern in Chicago to watch episode 7 of All Stars 9, which she's starring in, and spilled some tea on her third time on Drag Race as well. Wait. Okay. Now, speaking of host Naysha Lopez, Chanel revealed that the queens who starred in season 1 all auditioned and were cast alongside a costume designer who was meant to appear on the show with them. Naysha, who starred on season 8 of both the flagship franchises and All Stars, said, "Do you remember for season 1 we auditioned with a sidekick?" Which Chanel confirmed. Originally, the premise of the show was you and your costume designer were going to be competing as pairs against other queens and their costume designers, the Las Vegas-based queen explained in full. Chanel's sidekick even prepared for the show before the idea was scrapped. He says, "My Costume designer Coco Vega has done many costumes for 100 years and has made probably 90% of everything I own. At the time we had got the phone call, and she was like, we're going on television. She got a nose job, she got her teeth fixed, everything. Chanel also revealed that it was only 4, maybe 5 days before the Queen started filming that the Sidekicks concept was scrapped. Nature confirmed that she too auditioned with a sidekick named Joshua Aponte, adding that the Queens had the option to bring a hair/makeup artist instead. You know, I actually would have liked that idea of them doing that. Now they have the Queens that basically just do their own hair, makeup, and stuff on the show. Or now what they do is that they hire, you know, designers to design outfits for them. And then we see that now. But you know what? I would have really have loved that concept. I would have loved to have seen like, okay, that we do a paired show, which I get was the initial idea because of Drag Race does take a page out of, it's cross between America's Next Top Model and Project Runway. So it's got those elements in it, but it's with drag queens. And having them compete on the show with their designer on someone who is like, we're doing competition stuff and we're coming up with the ideas, the concept for the look, and we're doing these other things. I really feel like that is a concept that still should be visited on one of the, on maybe another different spinoff of Drag Race where y'all could do that, where you have them appear alongside someone who helps them with their vision and their ideas, and showing that, okay, there's sort of a creative director, there's someone who helps come up with my looks and my concept, that it's a collaborative effort. I would love to see a different side of drag where they do that, because there's drag queens that do it in real life. So I don't see why that they wouldn't want to continue to do that. But anyway, I still have to say, what did you think of that story? Were y'all shocked when y'all heard that? I was surprised when they came up with that concept. And I'm like, you know what? That actually sounds like a really cool idea. But maybe as the show was progressing, they were probably like, maybe they didn't have the budget, or that it was that, okay, that idea is not fitting in what we're doing. We had an idea of doing that, but then as we were putting the show together, we're realizing, you know what? This concept isn't working. We want to go in a different direction. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of this story down below. Say Gayopolis. And so it's Kennedy seems kind of serious to me. Yeah, she does seem like she takes herself a little too seriously. It was like, I don't think the queens would want to do sidekicks. Look how also, oh yeah, and I think that was where that conversation stemmed from, because they were talking about how Chanel was basically bringing up that she was like, on my first season, like it was the first of everything. She said this is the first time, like her being on All Stars, that she said this is the first time that I feel like I'm really competing, because the first season it was just like we didn't know what the show was going to become. It was basically like this new thing, and they were flying by the seat of their pants, which in my opinion is very exciting, because it's like you don't know where the tables are going to turn when you're the first one to walk into the workroom and to be a part of a show that nobody knows what's going to happen with it, how they're going to film it, or you know how it's filming because you're filming it, but how they're going to edit it, and what the show, like how people are going to receive it when they watch it. Because I was in college when the original Drag Race came out, the first season. And then it was like All Stars 1, where they had to compete in pairs, which everybody hates that season, including myself. Although I will say that legendary episode of them on Untucked, where they was all going on Mimi I'm First, that episode is iconic. So I live for that. But the whole concept of the joint competing thing, and they said that wasn't even the original idea. They didn't even know that they were going to be doing it. They walked into the workroom and they were like, okay, this is the concept they were doing, which in my opinion is stupid, and everybody hates season 1, so we don't even acknowledge it. Except for that, you know, come on, teleport us to Mars. That whole situation with Tammy Brown losing her shit. So, among other things, and everybody picking on Mimi I'm First. So there was that. And then she said, I feel like this is the first time that I was able to really compete on the show, because we know what the show has become. I'm not, you know, it's not this one thing. And then, you know, with the shitty visuals, with the Vaseline all over the lens, and the way they did on All Stars. This is the first time she's really competing. So I like that with her. I mean, that what she's doing. So yeah, I do agree. Like, you know, that is a good concept with them and their designer. But but here's the thing. It's not that you're attached to some fellow. I think the difference with this is you're not attached to a queen from another season of Drag Race where y'all have to compete with each other and y'all like chained to each other. This is me and someone who I know, and we create art together. That to me is different than, the way the concept, what they did with that. So it's like, okay, so now when you get chopped, your fellow designer gets chopped as well. I said, oh, okay, I thought it was Queens as pairs. Oh, so you were just explaining that. So I low-key feel like they're going to start blackmailing Chanel and giving her the Willem treatment the way she's spilling tea. They better not. I think you meant blackball. They better not blackball her, because it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, if that's what they do, Chanel is still going to be a successful queen in Vegas doing what she does. She came on the show. She did what needed to be done. People, the younger generation who are not familiar with Chanel, who wasn't watching her season or the season 1 of All Stars and is not familiar with her, are now familiar with her. But I don't like this whole thing that they're doing with her where she's constantly just being, the way they're not acknowledging her drag and how she's being skipped over for those benefactress badges this season. I'm not really feeling it. I'm acting. So change your costume, Mimi, change it around. Yeah, that was a legendary line. She had many legendary lines, child. Shout out to Tammy Brown. She is a cackle. I don't think she'll ever come back to Drag Race though, but she is a cackle. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about American Idol. And there's some tea that's come out about that. So this is former American Idol contestant by the name of Zachary Travis. But I don't think that was the name that they went by when he was on the show, because they have since transitioned. And apparently they work in adult film. So I did have a picture of them that I found on Twitter, but the picture looks pretty terrible and blurry, but it looks fine there. So I'm like, if you can see it enough, that's where it is. So let's go with that. Anyway, so shout out to Peak News for this story. So it says, queer American Idol contestants have spoken out feeling manipulated and exploited by the show, with one even complaining the way he was treated stopped him from transitioning, according to Rolling Stone magazine. Now, premiering in 2002, the Fox reality TV smash was judged by Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul, and Randy Jackson, who were famously harsh on their hopeful singers. Well, it was mostly Simon. Randy would just get up there and start giggling like a fucking schoolgirl because he always thought the shit was funny. And then Paula was always being like the positive, optimistic cheerleader. So it says Zachary Travis, who creates adult content under the name Kirk Cummings on Just for Fans, as well as working as a DJ and dog groomer, auditioned in 2005, but immediately felt belittled by the judges, particularly Cowell. Travis wore bell-bottom jeans, a tight white t-shirt, and had shaggy blonde hair. He sang Whitney Houston's Queen of the Night, which prompted Cowell to label the audition Confused, and saying it was uploaded to YouTube under the title American Idol Audition Boy or Girl. Okay. That's problematic. It's funny, back then, yes, I wouldn't have seen this problem, but looking at it now, it's like, y'all tried it. And y'all already know, when I've been on this show many a times, I've spoken out about how homophobic American Idol has been, particularly towards its queer auditioners or people who come up from that world that want to audition. Now, Cowell continued to ridicule Travis throughout his audition, branding it atrocious, leaving the set. Travis said, I think it's totally prejudice to not accept someone because someone's a boy singing girl songs and that they don't fit. I think that's prejudice. Speaking of prejudice, because I be looking at Simon Cowell, am I the only one that's always gotten a gay vibe from him? I was like, sissy, I need your gay ass to come out of the fucking closet. I always got a full-on sissy and punk from him. But maybe what it is that he's not gay. He's just British. How some of them are. They said that Travis told Rolling Stone that although he now identifies as male, he had hoped to transition to female at the time of his audition and was discouraged by his treatment on Idol. I thought, wow, if this is how my life's going to be, then I don't want any part of it, he said. My experience is not the normal experience of a trans person, but because I had chosen to be on a television show, I saw the worst of it. Another queer contestant who only came out after audition was Keith Bukalayer. Bucklayer, I think is how you say his name. He sang Madonna's Like a Virgin on season 2 in 2003 and was branded the worst singer in the world by Cowell. It's something I don't know if I'll ever fully recover from, he told Rolling Stone. I remember it as if it was yesterday. They knew I was different. Everybody seemed to know I was gay. I mean, I was a guy singing Madonna. It was the song choice. It was the dancing. It was my sexuality. It was the fact that I'm on the spectrum. What spectrum you on, niece? I wasn't expecting it to be that bad, although Rolling Stone say that Cowell did not respond to their numerous requests for comment. An anonymous source told the magazine that every single person who came on Idol, whatever their race, color, creed, or sexual preferences, sexual orientation is the word y'all need to use. That preference shit, y'all already know how that grinds my fucking gears where y'all put preference after or before sexual, was placed squarely in the firing line for Simon's barbed critiques. Abdul, however, issued a lengthy statement concerning the revelations, saying she was truly heartbroken that contestants felt an inability to be their fully authentic selves during a time meant for them to shine, adding, sexual orientation, gender identity, race, religion, none of that should matter when it comes to sheer talent. I will always remember the amazing contestants that it was a privilege to meet and mentor throughout my time with the show, and am saddened that some left feeling that they had not been fully seen. My wish is that they are now living in their truths and continue sharing their incredible gifts to the world. I hope so as well. But listening to this sort of situation, I totally feel where they're coming from. It's like, you know what? We have to look at it at the time, 2000s. Even Adam Lambert will tell you, even though he was himself, he never denied his sexuality. So he said, if they would ask me if I was gay, I would tell them. But many of people that have come through that show have talked about how you couldn't be out in those times. You couldn't really live and be your true authentic self, that you had to play the game to a certain point if you were going to make it far. And I applaud those queens that got out there and was full on living a fully fledged sissified life. That they was up there just, laying it all out on the table, being their true authentic selves. And maybe I would say production was encouraging Simon to kind of belittle this guy or whatever, because he had that reputation. He had an image to uphold that he would just go in and let have on the contestants. I'm not saying it's right. I wouldn't put nothing past them producers and stuff over there, which I'm sure they probably had a lot of people behind the scenes that were homophobic or whatever the case was, and were trying to push that narrative because they knew the type of audience that was at home watching this. They're pandering to middle America. So when y'all up here where these kids should have the opportunity, and we should be celebrating diversity and people living their true authentic selves, and there should be nothing wrong with a man getting up there singing a Madonna song or singing a Whitney Houston song. Or if you want to get up there and sing a Cheryl Cole song or a Girls Aloud song, y'all should be able to get up there and sing them songs. I don't speak French, but I let my body do the talking, bitch. So if you want to get up there and you want to sing those songs and let your flame burn bright, in the words of Emma Honeycutt over at Queer as Folk, you better let that shit burn bright. But look, we are in an era now where these gays and everybody is living a fully authentic selves, that people are finding the courage to fully, want to live in their truth and want to create the art and the music and stuff that they want to do independently. Or if you get tied to signed to a label and you're able to live your best life doing that, then I'm here for it. So I'm loving it. I just saw yesterday, Adam Lambert was I think he had a party and I couldn't go because I was working. But I think it was last night. But I saw like the pictures of him. They threw a party for his EP, Hours. Is it After Hours? It's what's going. Oh, there's a new picture that he got up here. They have what is it? Adam Lambert from Idol to Queer Icon. Let's pull that up, child. So yeah, he was out with Suzanne Barsh. That's what I want to show y'all. Now, if y'all don't know who Suzanne Barsh is an icon within the nightlife scene. I think she was married to David Barton, who actually has who had the David Barton gym and now has like the gym, I think it's called U. It's in the same location over in Chelsea. Sailor Mermaid goes to that gym now and was telling me that he be running into a lot of the porn stars. And I picked his brain a little bit. He said he ran into Austin Wolf, and y'all already know the tea. I'll be telling y'all about Austin Wolf, child. But the other day I ran into him, and our gym is in the same area. My gym is like more or less on 8th Avenue. Sidebar, Sailor Mermaid and I go to the same gym too. But he was telling me that he ran into Austin Wolf at that gym, and he also ran into Raymond Dragon. Well, I believe a friend, my ex-roommate, was trying to do something with Raymond Dragon regarding, I guess, like a party interview or something or another, and it fell flat for reasons I'm not gonna get into on this channel. But yeah. So here he is with a lot of icons. They were at Le Bon NYC. So they had Griffin Maxwell Brooks, who was DJing, and Oliver Gleese, I see, is in the comments talking. Jake Shears, Jake Shears, another icon, someone who was go-go dancing in a lot of the clubs before he became part of the Sisters. I don't know if y'all knew that, but there it is. And it was a couple of people that were in things. So we got, there goes the boy for Oliver Gleese, who go the iconic Amanda Lepore, who I saw that they were trying to, they were asking Joseph Shepard, no, not him, no, Matt, who does like his, he does like shows and stuff on YouTube where he interviews like adult film stars and things of that nature. And Aquarius in the picture too. His dream is to do a interview with Amanda Lepore. I've met Amanda Lepore. I've taken pictures and stuff with her. Like I've hung out with her at nightlife parties and stuff. And she's an amazing woman. I was like, we are not leaving this room until I get my photo with Amanda Lepore. I don't ask for a lot of photos, but if I'm in a room with Amanda Lepore, I'm definitely taking a picture with her. And she'd happily oblige. I need to find where that photo is though, but so yeah, there's this picture with this, and so I wanted to basically show y'all that. And then there is this photo that I saw. Lady Gunn, is that a new magazine? I have to check this out. First of all, I'm living for everything that Adam Lambert is doing, and a friend of mine, we had a conversation earlier. Oh, it's a conversation with Slater. Bitch, I have to read this article because I live for Slater. And look at these photos. I am living for this photo shoot. Is he on the Ozempic? Because remember, he was a big girl at one point, but now she done slimmed down. We seeing the tattoos. He's getting my rock star life. I'm living for the shoe game that he has. The outfits is outfitting. Like Adam Lambert is giving my life. And a friend of mine and I was talking because he's taking photos and he's a well-known photographer in the nightlife scene and stuff and works with a lot of the Drag Race girls. And he was telling me that, he has partied with in a lot of situations with Adam Lambert, and Adam is a great guy. So that's why I'm always promoting him on this show, because I've heard nothing but great things about him and how real he is and all this other stuff. And he was telling me, like, I can't see Adam Lambert releasing an EP. And I was like, me either. Why did he do an EP? It should have been a full-length album. I don't get the whole EP thing. I hope that we get more music down the road. I feel like we need somebody. Sure, maybe I'll do it myself once I take these voice lessons and things of that nature. But no, I don't think anybody's adopted. Tomato. Y'all get what I'm saying. The whole Robin idea. Remember when she did Body Talk and released like 3 EPs? Well, it was 2 EPs and then a full length with extra songs and stuff on it. Nobody's really done that since then, except maybe Todrick did that. But I'm hoping that that's what happens with Adam Lambert down the road, because I don't get the whole, I'm only just going to release an EP of like a little bit of like 4 songs or whatever. And I think that's probably coming out this week, and it has to. But anyway, so I just want to bring up to him that at least somebody made it out into the world beyond America Idol and all the shenanigans and stuff over there. Because that's like, that irritates me that when people who are othered or different can't be their true authentic self, because we know what America Idol gives and we know what they become. They become this big bore where they want to find these safe, boring, uninspired middle American acts that we ain't gonna remember when the new season come up. We're still talking about Kelly Clarkson. We're still talking about Fantasia. We're still talking about Adam Lambert. We're still talking about David Archuleta. We still talking about, whether you like him or not, Clay Aiken, Ruben Studdard, Kelly Pickler, Carrie Underwood. Look at me. Think all the names popping up in my head because they were staples. They had things going on about them. And are these newbies over there at America Idol on the Zeitgeist? Are we still talking about them? No. So shout out to him. I'm looking forward to hearing this new EP, and I love that he's playing into this whole nightlife space because I feel like, that New York underground sound is coming back. So I'm like, Madonna, this is the time for you to get back on it because remember you lived during those times. So it may be time for you to get back in using that as the foundation for your next record, whenever that is. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Robert says the actor's name is Kurt Cummings for your flap hand. Yeah, I know. I posted Kurt Cummings when I was talking about him or whatever the case was. And I'm like, okay, so now you out here doing the porn. Good on you, niece. The Lady Gaga story that I was gonna pull up, I was like, that I was thinking about possibly talking about, like playing the clip, but I don't know if I'll get demonetized or whatever. So I'm not gonna go and I'm not gonna play it. So I'll just have to read it when we get to it. But anyway, so the New American Idol was like The Voice, nothing happened. Exactly. And I guess people watch it for the contestants, but no shade. Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie ain't enough to get me to watch. And Katy Perry, born ass, when she was on there, she wasn't enough for me to watch. I felt like she was overpaid, quiet as a skip, and they probably all was. And I haven't watched American Idol in eons. And Ryan Seacrest ain't even enough to get me to watch it. So it said they stood out. We don't talk about Jordan Sparks, Tyler Gray, hair guy. Oh, he's about I was about to say Zendaya. What's his name? The Indian kid that was more or less famous for his hair than it was his singing, because he was not a good singer. But yeah, I could have sworn I heard stories about Jordan Sparks trying to get back into doing music. If the music is not working, no, not Taylor Hicks. He was an Indian kid. Oh, Sanjaya. I knew I was close. I said Zendaya. I was close to Zendaya. Sanjaya. Close enough. So there was that. Yeah, child. I remember everybody used to get mad when Sanjaya would make another damn round. I said, okay, y'all playing in our face at this point? Because I know damn well that performance was a mess. And these days we don't know where Sanjaya is at. But he was good on the show for when he was on there. Oh, and Screamer for Hudson. I can't forget about Screamer for. Or did I say her name already? No, I don't think I said Screamer for. But anyway, let's move on, Chad. And let's talk about Lady Gaga, whose album, The Fame Monster, has turned 15. So congratulations to her on, an amazing feat. I do like that album, so I'm not going to hold y'all in regards to that. That was an iconic record. I don't feel like that any of her music after that has lived up to it. But that was an era that was like, she struck, and it was like a zeitgeist moment, as we could say. So, according to Al, because they did this story, it said it's been 16 years since Lady Gaga burst onto the scene in 2008 with her breakthrough single Just Dance. But while the Fame gave Gaga her first batch of hits, 2009's expanded reissue, The Fame Monster, cemented the singer as a pop force to be reckoned with. But what made the era so iconic? The singles, the looks, the controversy, the star behind them? Of course, it was all of the above. Now, prior to The Fame Monster, which officially dropped on November 18, 2009, Gaga had snatched 2 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with Just Dance and Poker Face, as well as 2 more top 10 hits in Paparazzi and Love Game. So they were saying Gaga opened the era with a song and music video that is now instantly recognizable around the globe, because when she came out with Bad Romance, that was like, okay, so we got the cute little pop songs or whatever. Well, we had Just Dance, Poker Face, Paparazzi, those type of songs. But once she came out with Bad Romance, which kind of went into this whole industrial, dance pop type of vibe, and then the rah, rah, like that whole vibe. And then the fashions and the choreography and go walk, walk, fashion baby. Like giving us all of that, we got our life with that whole situation. So everything worked in it. And I definitely live for those McQueen shoes, though. The ones you could barely walk in. But those McQueen shoes was everything. And they said the stand term monster was officially coined because it said Gaga's intense fan base is known as the Little Monsters, and that name was cemented during this era. Not to mention, it's the title of one of her most beloved B-sides on the album. She still performs the song to this day, having included it on the set list of her 2022 Chromatica Ball concert and the 2024 HBO documentary. Wait, when did she do an HBO documentary? Because I do not recall that she did a documentary. I know she did a concert where she talked about that she had COVID. Oh, hold on. Let me pause that because I thought I was about to play the music and I do not want to get this channel, But anyway, and then of course, let's not forget, we got Telephone from that album, which was her collaboration with Beyonce. And we had like the whole short film, which was 9.5 minutes, her and them two in the pussy wagon, which is the vehicle that Beatrix Kiddo drives in the first Kill Bill movie. And then they go on a killing spree in a diner before dancing over carcasses in Americana regalia. That video was iconic. And then the choreography and everything that was going on up in there. And then, there was a story that came out about her having a penis and her being a hermaphrodite and all that other stuff. So that video, of course, was iconic. So there was a lot of iconic moments that came out of that album. But y'all, let's get into the controversial song. Let's talk about Alejandro. Alejandro. See, the Catholic League was criticizing the video for its use of religious imagery. But that's what y'all focus on? Because, let's get into what I've said many times about this song. This song is basically a ripoff of Ace of Base. It has got that whole Ace of Base vibe that's going on when you listen to Alejandro. I know y'all hear it. And then when we watch the video felt very much like you copied Madonna. Like you literally took a page out of Madonna's handbook and you copied her whole aesthetic. Like we basically saw that from Express Yourself. And the imagery that was Express Yourself like a prayer. There was a lot of that in there too. So when we saw all of that, it's like we can't sit and just make it seem like we didn't know. Oh, hold on, because I keep trying to hit this damn thing where I don't want it to play the music. So while we love the video, we love the visuals, we love all the other stuff that you had going on up in there. And don't get me wrong, I did like the choreography. I did like the extended version of Alejandro and all the other stuff. There were elements of the video that I absolutely loved. I did like the choreography. I did love the fashions. I did love things of that nature. However, when watching the video, it did feel like you were copying Madonna. And Katy Perry even jumped in the situation by tweeting, using blasphemy as entertainment is as cheap as a comedian telling fart jokes. Well, sis, you married Russell Brand, so your whole situation is null and void. You even trying to do your comparisons. And sis, I know you not trying to up and talking about like people pulling stunts at shows when this is what you're doing now and you're desperate for a hit era that you're currently in. So Katy, have several seats because ain't nobody listening to your tired ass or what the fuck you gotta say on your basic ass music. Because you about as deep as a pond. Now, I will say that she did redeem herself when she came out with that song where, Teeth. I did love Teeth. That is definitely a fun little song. I would like to see her perform that more on her tours and stuff, or live in general. And I did love the fact that, one of the things about Lady Gaga, I will give her, is that she's not afraid to dabble into different genres and musical spaces, that she gives you the pop stuff, but she also gives you the melodrama, the Elton John-esque piano playing and the theatrics and all the other stuff, because she is a musical theater kid and all the other stuff. So I totally see her bringing that into a whole element as well. And she does give good show. The only thing that I hate that she does is that put your paws up and now jump and all that stuff. It's like, I get it. Maybe you get irritated because the people that are there, that they basically aren't, you don't feel that they're engaging with you when you're performing. But that whole trying to dictate and tell people what to do, that shit is annoying. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you guys excited excuse me, of the celebration of the famed monster and all the other stuff, I will say that it is great that she is back. And that, I mean, that was an iconic album. That album stands the test of time. You know, she's trying to come up with different things. Born This Way was the follow-up. Born This Way was cute or whatever, but it did, to me, a lot of her music since post the famed monster has not had that cultural impact and has had that amount of sustainability that that album has. So I still listen to the Fame Monster to this day, and there are some couple of songs that I do like off of Born This Way. I do like Shiza. I do like which song? I mean, which album is Mary Jane Holland on? I do like that song too. Now she has a couple of bops on a couple of the other songs. I mean, the other albums. But to me, the Fame Monster is it. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. It is a classic. It said, honestly, this album is what I would consider modern day classic. The songs are timeless, and I feel like everyone started making electropop music. Yeah, she definitely got people interested in jumping on the electropop bandwagon because she was working with Red One, and everybody named Mama started working with Red One. Even Jennifer Lopez, when she did, then what album was it? Where she did the Tammy Chin song, she did Hypnotico. On the Floor, was that the Love question mark, that album, that was that a lot of those was Red One tracks. So she started working with Red One on a lot of stuff. There was a lot of pop acts that started working with Red One on a lot of stuff, and to me it's like the conversation that we were having, Robert and I was having yesterday, where he showed me that AG, who is Charlie XCX's producer, is following Taylor Swift. Now, I hope you just following for the sake of following and not thinking about possibly doing a collaboration, because no, we don't need you trying to give your sound to other people. And that's the argument that I think that I've been having, where it's like producers are hot, and this is why I'm using like Red One as an example. People find that one producer that they've been able to that come up with their own sound, and then these other artists with no damn, these mediocre pop acts are looking for the next big thing. So I was like, oh, I like what they're doing. I want something similar, instead of being like, come up with your own shit. So now this producer that works particularly for this one person, like with Dark Child, works well with Brandy. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis works well with Janet. I guess Justin Timberlake works best with Timbaland. So you have your people that work well with people. AG works well with Charlie XM because he knows what works for her and what doesn't. And they're always constantly challenging each other and coming up with new stuff. But then when you end up working with a different person, what happens is like they start working with this artist, Rich Harrison, when he was working with A. Marie. Then everybody else came along, Beyonce and all them, and Swagger Jack her sound. So that was the thing that irritated me about that whole situation. And then it's like you work with these producers that work with all these other artists, and all they shit sound like what we already heard from the girl that we like hearing it from. So there's that. That's what that is. So I hope that he's not trying to work with Taylor Swift. Let her stay her basic ass over there with them other artists that she worked with, Jack Adnoff and the rest of them. So is the Little Monsters, Katy Cats are as important stand bases as the Beehive and the Swifties. Let's be honest. Yes, Gaga is huge, but I see her as Madonna huge because one album ended her reign art pop era. Yeah, in our next time when we talk about her upcoming album, we'll see if she can reclaim her throne, because I don't feel like, while she did sell out stadiums with the Chromatica Ball, I just don't feel like, she is in the same conversation as a lot of these girls. Like Lady Gaga released something. Yeah, she's, an A-list pop act, but I don't feel like that she is in the same, like her music has that sustainability and cultural significance as, being in the same conversation like a Taylor Swift and a Beyonce and a Madonna. I said the Alejandro music video also had a lot of 1930s German soldiers that start with an imagery and chic. Yeah, they're like a lot of the German material. I think they were kind of going for that whole militant type of vibe or whatever. I don't know if she was referencing Nazism or whatever. I had to rewatch the video, but it was just like, I think maybe we were so focused on a lot of the imagery looks similar to what Madonna was doing with Like a Prayer that people couldn't see beyond it. So it looked like she was just copying off of Madonna. Little Monsters and Katy Cats are small compared to, yeah, exactly. So I don't even think that Katy Perry's upcoming era is really going to get her back on the radar of like her being that talk of conversation. I just don't feel like this song is going to solidify her comeback, which is why she's pulling all these stunts, because she knows that song is mid. Plus the gun bras was, oh yeah, I love the gun bras. And yeah, it did feel similar to Madonna, the comb bra. And then Katy Perry, it's funny how she up in here talking about, what Lady Gaga did similar to a comedian telling a fart joke. But sis, a lot of the antics you use is very like childish. Whipped cream coming out of your boobs. And, a lot of the bunch of the humor. So like, she does a lot of that too. So it just feels hypocritical in her trying to throw that shade at Lady Gaga. I feel like after 2013, Gaga always tried to create an era similar to TFM and Chromatica. Well, you said the Fame Monster and Chromatica was a somewhat good approach to recreating that, but with pink aesthetics. I was like, wait, did I hit the wrong button? I really hope Gaga puts out new merch or something. I was celebrating the Fame's 50th. Well, yeah, they should do something with that. Don't forget the album of Millennium, only for it to flop each time. So she stopped saying. Oh, you're saying Mary Jane Holland was on Art Pop. Thank you. I knew it was on something. And that's probably like the only song on that album I like. And so the title track got overshadowed by the media saying it's to express yourself, and Madonna didn't call Gaga reductive. I saw the video. I watched it yesterday on my way to work. I saw that you posted it on Facebook. I watched the whole video. A lot of people think that that Madonna was throwing shade at Lady Gaga, and she actually wasn't. If you watch the whole clip, she basically was saying that she's flattered by a lot of what Lady Gaga was doing. And then that's when she, later on mentioned the whole reductive thing and then look it up and drinking the cup, drinking from the cup, like she was sipping her tea. And I feel like everybody focused on that because y'all were looking, people they be waiting for you to want to say something shady because they love pitting women against each other. And it started this whole feud situation. So that's not what happened. It's the same thing similar to Dave Grohl going and saying what he said about live music acts or whatever, and then Taylor Swift came up with the conversation. People were sitting there saying that he was throwing shade at Taylor Swift, which turned out it wasn't. Y'all saw a little clip that was edited, or y'all going by hearsay. You didn't watch the whole thing, and y'all want to who? First of all, y'all don't know who Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters is. Foo Fighters has a tour that's selling out, and they're doing stadiums. So if y'all want to sit up in here and try to be funny, because you want to make your fave because you mad at what he said about your fave, allegedly, whatever the case was, he's still selling on stadiums. So who's the one that's irrelevant, or y'all don't know him? Okay, you don't need to know him. The audience that listen to Foo Fighters don't give a fuck about Swifties or whatever y'all doing. So I don't understand why people get mad over that sort of thing. So it was like, I was so disappointed when we got nothing for the 10-year anniversary. There's another, well, I guess probably because, she feels that y'all wasn't feeling that album. But my thing is, if you are an artist and whether or not people appreciate the album, whatever the case was, stand 10 toes down in your convictions of what you believe in regards of that era. If you live for art pop, if you stand 10 toes down on when you created that album, then own it. And for those who actually love that record, that are part of your fan base, come up with some merch or whatever for that 10-year anniversary. Madonna, even though a lot of y'all don't feature some of her albums, she celebrates the anniversaries of certain albums that a lot of people have mixed feelings on. I'm sure she stands 10 toes down on Madam X, and that was a mixed, that album was full of mixed reviews. A lot of people didn't really feature it. I'm not talking about the critics. Critics, they like all that snobby, uppity, boring shit. But the Madonna fans, a lot of people are divided by Madam X, including yours truly. So she'll say, so I appreciate those artists that really that stand 10 toes down on what they doing. But she should stand on Art Pop. That was supposed to be her Renaissance record before there was a Renaissance record, but people wasn't feeling it. And maybe the rollout, and there was a lot of controversy behind that record because of her collaboration with R. Kelly and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that may have hurt her in a way. And then she did that GUI music video with the Housewives. I was like, what the hell was you thinking about? And then put Andy Cohen in there as God. Oh, they side-eyed her with a lot of the decisions on that record. But everybody went by the 30-second clip, making it look like Madonna. That's what I said. It's like they'll edit some shit down. And look, all edits ain't good edits. Sometimes you need more than 30 damn seconds to get the full context of what someone said for 2 minutes. But I guess that was too boring for some people. That was a good Super Bowl performance. I will give her that. Her career lasted longer than I thought it would. I just never got into her. Well, to each his own. Yeah, I could definitely see it because went into that whole stadium pop star type of thing. So she had to prove that, you know what, I have to be able to last long and stand the test of time. And she found something that worked. I said, did you see the Easy Fun followed Taylor? He was a producer on Brat. Lord. So now we got 2 people that produce Brat that are following Taylor Swift. I don't like it. Well, look, you can put it. Look, y'all can like whoever you want. You can follow whoever you want, as long as y'all not planning on getting in the studio with her. Because I do not want to hear Charlie XCX's sound over no Taylor Swift lyrics. I don't. She celebrated MDNA and American Life, and we know the commercial reception wasn't here for it. The latter is now received as a proper Madonna. Exactly, because look, a lot of people wasn't featuring American Life, but Madonna stood 10 toes down on that album. And she, and people now, back then, y'all wasn't featuring it, but now y'all are living for it. It's the same thing with MDNA. I did not like MDNA. I just felt like it was just watered, like it felt like mid-ass dance, EDM dance music. And I'm like, Madonna, you have done way better in that whole genre. Why are you jumping on this mid-level EDM bandwagon? The songs aren't giving. There was a couple of songs on there. I love Falling Free. That was a cute song. But in I'm Addicted, I do love that song. But there were songs on that album. Bitch, I'm not bitch, I'm Madonna. That's on a different album. That's on Rebel Heart. But I don't. There's a couple of songs on there that I can't stand. Give Me All Your Lovin'. But there's that. American Life was so good in my opinion, and that music video is probably the boldest thing she's ever done, and she was a wimp for not releasing it. Well, I would agree with you to an extent, but I totally understand why she didn't do it. She said the reason why she didn't release the album is at the time she had kids. She had Lola and Rocco, and at that point she had to think about them. But she's like, you can say what you want about me. Like I could take it. But when you got crazy ass people out here who are all pro, George W. Bush and what he was doing, now he's, small fry compared to the orange fuck that's trying to get back in the White House. But he walked so Trump could run, in my opinion. So, with that being said, she said she did it because she wanted to protect her kids and her family and all that other stuff at the time. She had to think of them before that whole other thing. But look, the American Life music video is out right now, and people are living for it. Because I remember there was a resurgence of that video, and then I saw like a lot of young YouTubers, were giving like their whole thesis citation, on it and that sort of thing. So I guess she was scared to get. Well, yeah, because you know what? And there was the Dixie Chicks, how they got blackballed. At this point, they went and changed their name. Now they're known as the Chicks. But anyway, let's move on. And speaking of Lady Gaga, we have more Lady Gaga news where she is talking about her new music. And she did a recent interview with Sasha Velour, where she talked about, I would bring that up, but I was like, I didn't pause to the clip of her and Sasha Velour having the conversation. So here's what she said. Now she was speaking to We Hair host and winner of season 9 of Drag Race to promote her concert documentary for the Chromatica Ball, which I don't understand why this is coming out now when the Chromatica Ball came out a while ago. So it said Gaga hinted that new music would be coming sooner rather than later, which would be music to the ears of her fans, known as Little Monsters. She says, I've been in the studio all the time. I'm making a lot of music, and it's this incredibly vast experience that I feel so lucky that I get to have. I'm excited for Monsters to hear where I am now and be connecting on that level again. It's also worth noting that the full circle moment for Sasha Velour, given that Lady Gaga was a guest judge on the first episode of her Victoria's Drag Race season in 2017. Now, elsewhere in the interview with Sasha Velour, Gaga described her LGBTQ plus fans as one of the most powerful artistic communities in the world, adding, it's this community that has given birth to the way we think about art. Okay, girl, with your pretentiousness, because that's what I got from that whole line. But anyway, she has a residency that I should say is, coming out. I don't know if it started already, but I did say that there are dates and ticket sales. Let me pop that open. It's called Jazz and Piano. And they were recently announced. So I want to see, let me scroll and see if they actually have the actual dates. Okay, so, it started already. So June 19th is the Jazz and Piano date. So it's the 19th, the 20th, the 27th. So she's performing tonight. The 29th, the 30th, and then she has 3 dates in July. July 3rd, July 5th, and July 6th. So she has, it looks like, what is that, 10 dates? 8 dates. So she has 8 dates of this jazz and piano situation. And that's cute or whatever, but child, quiet as it's kept. Her Little Monsters ain't here for that whole jazz and piano type vibe. They want the pop Gaga. And we don't necessarily know what sound we're necessarily going to be getting from this new album. And she also has the Folie à Deux movie, the Harley Quinn, which is Harley Quinn and the Joker sequel, which in my opinion, I still don't understand why we got a sequel, but I get it. The first movie made $1 billion at the box office. So, of course, we're going to get it. And if you need to see the Chromatica Ball, you can see it on HBO Max. So definitely check it out there. But I still just say, you know what? When we talked about Gaga before, I like some of her stuff. Her music really hasn't been capturing me as much as the Fame Monster did and the Fame, as well as I'll even throw Born This Way in. There's a bops on Born This Way. There's even a couple of cute songs that I like that came off of art pop. There's a couple of cute songs and stuff in there. I don't particularly care for Joanne. That was like her whole, stripped down. She was channeling Shania Twain, that whole situation where she was trying to get her rocker bag, country bag, acoustic bag. That didn't seem to work with a lot of the fans. They like dance pop Gaga, and I like the fact that, you know what? She is taking chances and she's doing different things. So that solidifies her as a well-rounded pop star. So I do like that she dabbles in different genres, but this is her foundation. And she needs to come back to the foundation. And I know she attempted to do that with Chromatica, but I guess because of the era of COVID and all the things of that nature, she wasn't able to promote that record the way she could have. So I'm glad that we have the tour captured on, film, and that at any time y'all can go over to HBO Max and you can watch it. So I say all this to say, are you guys Little Monsters or not? I was gonna say Mother Monsters, Little Monsters or not? Are you guys excited for this upcoming, Lady Gaga music era? I just need to know what the music sounds like before I can make a decision. Like, what's the genre? Who you work with? Who are the producers? All that other stuff. Like, I'm not just gonna go and just be like, oh yeah, I'm here for this era if I don't know what it's giving. Because if you're trying to give us another jazz record, child, the fans gonna side-eye your ass and cuss you out on social media. So that's what they want. They want the pop stuff. So hopefully that's the direction she's going in. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more details in regards to who exactly she worked with on this upcoming album. So let me know on LG7, as she calls it. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so it said, you had to be there. I was 19, but her kids had death threats and it crossed the line. She wasn't afraid to still give statements. She told us to suck his D. I love him. But yeah, she did go on that tour and threw some shade at George W. Bush. I want the Enigma show to come back. I saw clips of it and stuff on social media, and I liked some of the stuff she was doing with that. But yeah, maybe she needs to go more into that whole situation. I was gonna say, I don't think I meant to her. I brought up. Did I bring up that song? That's another favorite of mine too. I love Heavy Metal Lover. She needs to perform that on the tour. on any of her tours. I want your whiskey mouth all over my blonde south. But I'm like, look, here's the thing. But if you go and you get eaten out where somebody had whiskey breath, here's the thing. Make sure they don't have whiskey in their mouth when they're doing it, because that shit burn. You don't want alcohol in the mouth while you eating the box. Trust to believe. But I definitely love Heavy Metal Lover because I have more that real sexy, sleeky, industrial vibe to it. And I would love to have seen like a music video or something or another. And I'm sure she's probably performed it in past tours. Because here's the thing, I've never seen Lady Gaga live. I'm just hoping that I'm working in any of the venues that are doing like she'll do a stadium tour or whatever. Because I heard last year, and I was mad that I didn't work there. Pink performed at Citi Field. So hopefully Pink comes around and does another Citi Field performance and I actually get to witness her live. So hopefully Gaga does the same thing. So I hope like one of these days I would actually get to see her perform because I would definitely check her out. But anyway, we have, how many more topics do we have? We have 3 more because we already did the 20 best songs by drag queens where I added that in. So we have 3 more topics. What is, we're going to talk about Kevin Fallon giving an update on Britney Spears. Jonathan Van Ness basically is speaking out finally about what happened with him in the whole queer expose. And Carmen Carrera is clarifying some stuff in that EW article. We're going to talk about that. Before we do that, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button if you haven't already. Please and thank you. And now let's move on to our third to last topic, which is this tea on Kevin Fallon, spilling tea about Britney and the Currents. So we reported the other day, I think it was yesterday, that Britney Spears' sons are open to healing their relationship with their mother after they, spoke to her on the phone over on Mother's Day. So it was reported yesterday that Britney has reconciled with the boys and that they're working things out and that it was the help of her brother Brian. That was a story that came out, and how she's been making frequent trips to Hawaii because, Hawaii is like her favorite place to go vacation. So she has been going, when she goes into Hawaii, she has been visiting, her sons, and they've been hanging out with her. They've been coming to see her, and that she's even arranged for them to come to to LA to come spend time with her. So Kevin Fallon has shared an update on the singer's relationship with her sons, Sean 18 and Jaden 17, after she granted permission for the teens to move to Hawaii with him last year. Now, shout out to E! Online for this story. So where does Spears stand with Sean and Jaden? They're saying reconciliations and the reunification of relationships are different and take time. This is what Fallon's attorney Mark Vincent Kaplan told Entertainment Tonight on June 25th. They're sometimes complicated and always a lengthy process. The process has not really commenced, let alone been completed. He went on to note a positive way their bond has changed over the past year, saying the good thing is that the boys saw their mom was doing well and have a desire to speak with her, the lawyer continued. There has been some telephonic communication between Britney and her sons, and we think that is a step in the right direction. Now, E! News also reached out to reps for Britney and Kevin for comment, but haven't heard back because, I think the smart thing is that, Kevin is speaking through his attorney instead of speaking directly to these people because, you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want people to misconstrue your words and that sort of thing. And so, last year, the boys moved with their father and his wife, Victoria, who he married in 2013. They moved to the Aloha State. His attorney later confirmed that 2 people that Spears had consented because I guess she wanted them to have a better life. And I love the fact that, they're working things out because at the end of the day, boys always need their mom. And I think in any household, regardless of the circumstances, kids just want their parents. They just want love and to be loved in return. Yes, I got that from Romeo and Juliet. So, I love to see it for them. I did see that there was a story that they said that some of the stories that were going on is not true, basically in regards of like, damn, I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head. I wish I would have had the story about her reuniting with kids, where they said that that there was some of the stuff in the reunion wasn't necessarily true. And damn, I wish I had that article so that way I could they said the truth about their reunion. Let's go to that. And that's from the Hollywood Gossip. Shout out to my Ozzy Osbourne got health concerns. Well, we don't care. I said, despite reported distance from her teenage sons, Brittany made headway during the spring, talking with Sean Preston and Jaden James and Federline over the phone. Oddly, a contrary report has surfaced to suggest that things have not gotten better. So what is the truth? So the Entertainment Tonight report about Britney Spears talking with 18-year-old Sean Preston Federline and 17-year-old Jaden James Federline does not stem from unnamed insiders. Reconciliations and the reunification of the relationship are difficult to take time. This is okay. We already read that with the whole, from the attorney. So there have been some telephonic stuff, and I guess okay, so it's basically saying the same thing we said. I thought it was probably something different that we were going to get. But anyway, so let's go by what we already know. The fact is, they're working it out. I'm happy. It's going to take some time. Take baby steps with the whole situation. Y'all speak on the phone. You have your moments. Brittany, whatever situation you're dealing with, girl, take your medicine, please, because I'm sure that's probably what the sons is thinking. They're both Virgos, so I know how the Virgo situation is when it comes to being empaths and energy and people wanting the best for them. If you're not willing to hold yourself up and really take care of yourself, we kind of look at you as a disappointment, and then we're just like, girl, I ain't got time for the bullshit. I need you to do what you need to do for you, and I want to have a relationship with you, but you can't be out here doing all this crazy shit. Now, I hope that she's taking her meds, working on making herself a better person, and that she will work out a situation with the kids. The stuff that's been coming out about the only reason why the sons are trying to have communication with their mother and work things out because the well's about to run dry on them child support payments that she's paying, and they want mommy to take care of them financially. That is something I do have in the back of my head, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to think cynically in that way. I want to root for Brittany and the boys and them have their situation work out. So fingers crossed that this is a real thing that's happening, that they really work things out, and that Brittany and her sons get to make up for lost time, because, I feel like maybe what been really hurtful for her is the fact that she doesn't have a relationship with her sons. So shout out to you, sis. Hopefully things work out between you and your sons and everything. And then, I'm happy to hear this. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Oh, excuse me. You said you went to the Monster Ball and her jazz show. She performed Lover on the Born This Way tour in her motorcycle album cover art, and it was difficult because she was pulled. She was pulled on the track. So you're saying she had a hard time performing that song, because I guess maybe in her head, she thought, okay, the aesthetic and all this other stuff work for it, but then it comes down to it. The execution is working. Wouldn't she had figured that out in rehearsal? So I actually just posted a remix I did for Lace and Leather on my SoundCloud page. Oh, that's cute. I like that song. I did like that Lace and Leather song. Oh, you're talking about, wait, Lace and Leather. Isn't that a Britney song? I don't know. I was still thinking of Lady Gaga, because Robert was talking about it. I saw an interview they did on 60 Minutes. Oh, yeah, I did see that one too. From my understanding, the boys love their grandparents and their Aunt Jamie, the people that hurt Brittany. So the only way for a reunion is for her to forgive them and still have. No, I feel like if Brittany has been hurt by a lot of situations, she has a right to feel how she feels. And if she's not interested in reconciling with certain family members, which we all have those type of situations where there's certain family members that we don't fuck with. I don't feel like that's fair for her sons to ask her doing that because you like her. But here's the thing: you're not familiar with what your aunts, with your mother and your aunt, whatever situation that they was dealing with before y'all were even in the picture. So stay out of it, is what I say with them. He said with them, they were too young to understand. Exactly. So it's like, y'all were too young to understand. And just because you have an idea of someone, I mean, you can like who you want, but just because you have an idea of somebody and you're not familiar with the history of those people does not afford you the right to ask them to forgive a family member that they don't fuck with. It's not fair to them. And it's like, we could be cool, but you're not going to sit up here and force me to like somebody. But then a friend of mine sent me this. I saw this article. This something that I think he tagged me in it, or I saw in his stories, and he said, "My parents told me to hug the people I don't like, so that way I know how deep to dig the ditch to put their bodies in." And when I saw that, I was like, have my Lucy LaDuca moment. Exactly. So that's basically keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Metaphor. And that's another thing too. Like everybody said that Jamie Spears was a demon and mean. I have a cousin I ever told him something. I was like, yeah, look, there's family members I don't talk to. I don't even talk to my own brother because I feel I actually refer to him as Lucifer. I refer to him as Lucifer, Satan, Damien, the devil, evil incarnate. Like those are all the names that I have for him because he's not a nice person. He's gone on the record and spread lies about me, has done many of things that has tried to sabotage my relationships with a lot of people. And it's like, whatever demons you got going on inside of you, you need to work that out with your pastor. You need to work it out with the Lord. You need to work it out with spirits. You need to work it out with your therapist. But don't be sitting up in here and trying to work things out because you are just insanely jealous of things about me. So I don't speak about him. I don't fuck with him. I don't have nothing to do with him. And we almost came to blows the other day on Father's Day. I was about to fuck somebody up. I was like, I got to leave this place before I go to jail for homicide. So I had to. So that's what happened because it was a situation like you sitting there talking shit about me and I hear you. And talking about him to my mother to come and speak to me. So I don't like stuff like that. And this is why I don't fuck with family members or want to be around certain family members. I'd rather just be by myself or be with my friends or be with people that truly love and respect and care for me because I can't deal with the fake and the phoniness. And trust and believe, I can be in the same room with somebody I despise. I can do it. Just don't speak to me. Don't look in my direction. Don't say nothing to me because if you say one thing, I'm going to fly off the fucking handle. I can ignore you and act like you're not even in the room because I'm mature in that way. But don't go around start talking shit about me or speaking about things when you don't know me or you speaking about things you don't know nothing about or whatever. Just in general. And telling to people where I can't even defend myself. Like, why are you listening to him? I'm standing right fucking here. But people like hearsay and gossip and all that other stuff and allow all the other mess. But anyway, let's move on. And let's not get into my woes and things. And let's talk about Jonathan Van Ness, who is finally addressing the drama that transpired about that whole Rolling Stone article that came out a couple of, like, what was it, earlier this year? So Jonathan Van Ness said that he was walking on eggshells waiting for the Rolling Stone article that was published in March to drop, which accused the reality star of being emotionally abusive and having rage issues, saying, our whole Queer Eye team only first learned about this article in like December, so I went from this bankruptcy to them being like, oh, there's someone who's going to write an investigative takedown, like expose piece, or is it expose? Because there's no hyphen situation up in there where it's like expose piece, we'll go with that, about you that isn't really based in reality, but can certainly have a lot of things taken out of context to make you look as bad as possible. That could drop any day, Van Ness said on the latest episode of Table Manners podcast with Jesse and Lenny Ware. Sidebar, when did Jesse Ware, the singer, who I absolutely love, have a podcast? It's like everybody got a damn podcast. Now, can we address that? Because, the article in question was basically, it was published in March, but we're almost in July. Why are you just talking about it now? And it's basically led into, detail what led to Bobby Burke quitting the show, as well as behind the scenes environment of the hit Netflix show Queer Eye. 3 sources spoke to Rolling Stone using the words monster, nightmare, and demeaning to describe Van Ness, and 7 sources said the star would lash out at crew members. So here's the thing. If said story wasn't true, why not speak about it then? Because they're saying, oh, we're going to warn you. There's a story that's coming out about you that's going to expose you as this mean-spirited, nasty monster who lashes out and has rage problems. If that was the narrative that I was going to be painting with, I was like, oh, hell fucking no. I'm going on the very first show that I can get told them my publisher, get me on one of them shows. We going to talk. Like, I'm getting on social media. I'm doing a whole live like I am now. Or I'd probably do an IG live. Say, okay, this is a story that's come out and I want to say this. I want to go in and I want to let y'all know stuff that's been going on, whatever. And I'm like, this shit is a lie. Why wait months to go on a podcast to speak about it and let people just say what they want to say about you? So they went on to say there's a real emotion of fear around them when they get angry. It's almost like a cartoon where it oozes out of them, one source said in the article of Van Ness, who uses they, them pronouns. According to Van Ness's anxiety about the article was their professional woes. In August of 2023, Amyris, the parent company of Van Ness hair care line JVN, filed for bankruptcy. The company later auctioned off the JVN line for $1.25 million in December. But damn, that's not a lot. Like, damn, who knew that Jonathan Van Ness was coming through it financially? I guess Netflix ain't paying y'all shit over there. That article came out at an incredibly vulnerable time for my hair care company for like my whole career. It just was really rough, Van Ness said. The Netflix star later said the article was overwhelmingly untrue and done in bad faith. However, they also said the article caused them to reflect, saying, I know that there were times where I could have been better, but I think also being a survivor of abuse and talking about everything that I've talked about, I internalized the article so badly where I was like, oh my God, is it true? Like, am I really this bad person? It forced me to really learn how to slow down, disengage, and then really love myself. So is the story true or no? Because it sounded like you were saying, and don't get me wrong, I'm here for people that are like, you know what? Maybe they weren't right about something. Let me sit back and actually self-reflect. Just yourself and chin you flat. It's like that was my Madonna line from Holy Water, child. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so back to, because I don't know, that popped in my head when I was just thinking about self-reflecting. So I was like, yeah, I'm the type of person that does that too. I'm like, wait a minute, is that what people are seeing of me? If this is how people perceive me? Let me really think back and reflect and be like, well, damn, was I mean? Was I coming up harsh? Do I look like I have resting bitch face? Maybe it's just like I got a lot on my mind, and maybe this all was going around a time where his business was going through some things. But still, whatever's going on in your personal life regarding your other businesses outside of Queer Eye, once you step on that set and you are there to do a show, you're there to be a professional. You're not there to be a melodramatic whatever. You're not there to be nasty and rude to people. You have to show up and, be professional. When I always say, leave your problems at the door when it comes to situations. Whenever I'm going through personal stuff in life, I don't carry that into other places because the people don't give a shit. So that, in my opinion, is what maybe Jonathan should have been dealing with or whatever. But I don't know. I'm just like confused. I'm like, so is it true or is it not true? Because it just says like, you know what, they're overwhelmingly untrue and done in bad faith. But here's the thing. Now, Rolling Stone, the ball is in your court. You need to speak out. And Jonathan Van Ness is saying y'all are liars. And Rolling Stone has done a lot of exposés on a lot of celebrities and things of that nature where we've all been clutching our pearl. They did one on Diddy and so many other. I think they did one on Jonathan Majors. They did one on, and they turned out to be true. So why is this one not? I don't know. I'm not buying it. But let me know what you guys think. Are y'all buying what Jonathan Van Ness had to say in regards of the Rolling Stone article? Let me know in the comments down below. It said Lace and Leather was, it was on the Circus album. All eyes on me, and it's never a ring just like a circus. My cousin basically, I remember that story. Child, quiet as it's kept. You talking about your cousin called you a child molester? I got one better for you. So my brother is accusing me of sexually molesting him as a child, which is a fucking lie, and that shit pissed me off. But what the gag was that I had a conversation with my mother, we were in private at my father's. It was like the Father's Day thing that we were having, and she said that story was debunked. It was a lie. It was not true. And I said, I told you that. Like, first of all, y'all know how hard I go for people when it comes to sexual abuse, like that shit grinds my gears. I be wanting to fight pedophiles to the point where y'all could lock my ass up for murder. So why would I do that? And I know they always say a head dog, but no, when it comes to reputation and shit, that's not something you fuck with. And that's not a lie that you're going to put out there in these streets for people to just be running as a narrative. So whenever that motherfucker, and I think that was because there was some situations where my mother was helping me out with stuff, and he don't like anything where people trying to help me in situations or do things for me, whatever the case is. He hates it because he's insanely jealous of any little thing that I do. My name is always in your fucking mouth, but you can't stand me. which I don't understand. But I tell people, if I don't like your ass, I don't care what you do. Your ass can get hit by a car tomorrow. I don't care. Like, okay, when's the funeral, so I know when not to go. That's basically my whole aesthetic on it. Yes, I am that much. When I am done with your ass, I am done. I don't care what happens to you. I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. That's basically where I stand in a lot of situations where if somebody pisses me off to the point where I hate your guts. That's basically where I'm at. So, and so I had people who used to wonder if I could talk when I was younger because I was so shy. And then I've had people who think I have an ego. Then there are people who hated me. There's always, you know what, you can never win for losing. There's always people who's always going to have their narrative they're going to run with, and they're going to say whatever they want to say about you and all that other stuff. So it's just sometimes I guess, but you got to you got to defend yourself. If somebody actually wrote an expose piece on you, accused of all these things, and they're not true, you best believe I will be in the forefront, on the front lines, defending my honor. And for you to just wait to get on a podcast with Jessie Ware, and that's no shade of Jessie Ware, because I love Jessie Ware's music, and I know when she came to New York, the gays was living for her. We was all out watching her perform when she did her last tour, and in the United States. But you should have windmilled and defended yourself a long time ago. You should not have waited till now, 4 months later, to talk about something we all just forgot and moved on about it. Or is that why did you want to speak on that? Is Queer about to come on TV soon? It said, then got to know me and like, exactly. So it's like, I think a lot of people just be jealous and sometimes they'll just, go based on perception. It's like, get to know people before you speak on them. And so, my mom stood up for me and smacked him. So, as she should have. I was like, bitch, don't be out here trying to make up lies and accuse people of sexual because you don't like me. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come up with the worst thing I possibly can to say about you, so that way I can assassinate your character. And so when I was in high school, I never taught. People thought I didn't know English or that I was mute. I was very emo too and gave off Scorpio energy. It's just like, maybe it's like, what, at the end of the day, you're trying to protect your energy. Not everybody is going to be like very outgoing and stuff because they don't want to be made fun of. They don't want to deal with certain things. And when you've been called, when you have people that come out here and try their hardest to dim your light and calling you because, oh, you talk like a girl and you're a faggot and all this other stuff. When you get those type of things, people shut down. People don't want to, expose parts of themselves. So they get quiet, they get shy, they go into themselves. And it's like, I'm gonna just keep my head down. I'm going to do my schoolwork. I'm going to do all these other things. I'm going to keep it moving. Because I had a period where I did that too. But anyway, let's move on to our final topic, and let's talk about Carmen Carrera, who is clarifying that EW article regarding claims about Janet Mock and Pose. So we talked about it the other day where, and I saw a lot of people was in the comments, maybe it's my old girl, now she up in here trying to take credit for, a lot of the comments. Why is Facebook on here? I could have sworn I closed Facebook, or maybe I didn't. Actually, I didn't. Let me close it now. So I was like, why is Facebook popping up in my little window? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Carmen, who, has been in the news lately. And there was an article that came out from, a lot of the gay blogs. Entertainment Weekly did one. Pink News picked it up. Them.us picked it up, where they basically was saying that Carmen Carrera was accusing Pose writers of stealing her life story. And we did talk about it too, where, a lot of people were saying, oh, here she go, be trying to, clout chase and trying to get attention and all this other stuff. And regarding that, and they were like, well, there is a model that it was based on where she was the first trans woman, and then she got clocked, and then they basically took her off and all this other stuff. And then plus, I believe it was different pieces that they took from other people and created stories around some of the girls on the show. Like I said, Dorian Corey's story about the body inside the apartment that she murdered that person or whatever the case was. She murdered the person because there's so many conflicting stories about why Dorian Corey did what she did. And then we already know the story that they did with Elektra, that she was doing a session because she was a sex worker, and he accidentally died because he was taking his drugs or whatever the case was, and he OD'd, and she left for a long time. So when she came back, he was dead. So that was based on, Dorian Corey's story was based on Elektra. Then they took Venus Extravaganza being murdered in a hotel room. That story was based on, they used that for Candy's storyline. So there have been many a times that they've taken from different things that have gone on in our queer history when they were bringing up stuff with Pose. But then when people were talking about it, I was like, Carmen, first of all, there have been many a trans girls. Like, we don't recall you with the whole trans being the first trans model, whatever the case was, whatever the storyline they was using. And then they were like, I'm certainly you're not the first trans person to have be married and have kids and all this other stuff. So there was a whole bunch of debunking and stuff that was going on. People was calling her out saying like, okay, sis, you full of shit, whatever the case was. So now Carmen did come on her social media and posted a video where she was debunking a lot of the accusations. Now I know it's a 5-minute video that I want to play for y'all. I could have sworn I saw it on her Instagram, but it's not up there no more. But luckily enough, I happened to go over to TikTok and I found it. So we're gonna play the clip and we're gonna watch it as a class, and then we'll come back and talk.
Any of this on your timeline, it's fake news. I never thought I'd be using the terminology fake news, but I'll fill you in. I made a Twitter post speaking about an experience that I had with the writers of a TV show called Pose. I really wasn't trying to elaborate much on the situation because Twitter's that girl. You say what you got to say, you keep it moving. So I get a DM from a journalist named Joey that works at Entertainment Weekly who wanted me to elaborate more on the story and give more context and details. And I thought to myself, I haven't spoken about this in a long time. This is something that happened a while ago. And maybe this is my opportunity to get it off my chest and just never think about it again. I have nothing to hide. I'm an open book. So I said, sure. And I began elaborating on the events that took place. So this is part one of what I sent him. You can pause if you need to. This is the rest of it, part two. Pause if you need to, but regardless, I'm going to explain. Back in 2019, they were casting for season 2 of the show, and they requested me to cast for the role of a bartender. Along with my audition tape, they were also sent an electronic press kit that included my biography, various parts of my story, what I've done in the press, and a feature about my wedding. The reason that my wedding was included in my EPK was because I was the first trans person to get married on national television. We were featured in People magazine. And this was just a big moment in television and also just for trans people and inclusivity and possibility. Anyway, so the role that they sent me was literally a one-liner. It was just one line, not even 2 seconds. I actually found my audition tape that we submitted and it's on my Twitter. I can't play it on here, but if you want to go see it, you can go see it. It's up there. Now, during season 2 of Pose, there was a lot of talk about one of the other characters on the show named Angel, whose storyline was based on a real model from back in the 80s and 90s named Tracy Africa, who was unfortunately outed for being trans and then ultimately fired and had to deal with a lot of the stigma of being a trans woman and working in the modeling industry. I never heard back from casting about the one-liner role, but I know how Hollywood works. I have worked in acting before with multiple roles with more than one line, and sometimes you get the part and sometimes you don't. It's not that big of a deal. So season 3 comes around and the character Angel gets married with a stepkid and family. Now, granted, it's very important to show accurate trans stories told by trans people. However, you give credit where credit's due, just like Tracy Africa got credit for Angel's storyline in season 2. I should have received credit for season 3's storyline, or at least been invited to the writer's table. Now, remember that guy Joey, the reporter? Why did he title the story Ripped Off Her Life Story for Pose? I was very specific about what part of my story I was speaking to, but the press decided to make this headline to ruffle up some feathers, stir up drama, and create fake news. So now you got people like this creating content about me, saying that I'm delusional or bitter about not getting a one-liner role, or people like this saying that I'm promoting anti-blackness.
Not that
Now,
picture.
regardless of what goes on within the LGBT community, more specifically the trans community of light skinned girls versus dark skinned girls or vice versa, projecting those types of issues on something that has nothing to do with the topic is just wrong. And
I get it. And I agree with that. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because I'm going to forget this. This is similar to a lot of the drama that's been going on. And I'm going to use this as an example. Um, Elliot with two T's from Drag Race. You know, she was painted with this narrative about using certain words that like ratchet and all this other stuff. And they were saying she was putting a lot of anti-Black rhetoric and stuff out there, which is the conversation I was having. And this motivated me to do this article because I was talking to a friend of mine about this whole thing with Carmen Carrera. And I was like, you know what? This would be actually good to bring this story up because Carmen has been, you know, this person that wrote that article. It was a similar situation with Elliot with two T's where they was out here spreading a fake narrative where they didn't even want to get an interview Elliot about some of the stuff that was going on through that season about Drag Race, but you went and you got Candy Muse and you got, you know, all the other girls, Simone, you got all these other queens to come on there and have their conversation and talk about this and got Mick and all these lies and stuff where it was, wait, at first you wasn't even feeling this kind of way that I would say things that was deemed transphobic or racist or whatever the case was, but y'all waiting until y'all have y'all moment on TV to do all this. This is why I can exclusively reveal that Elliot with two T's did an interview with Joseph Shepard. So look out for that one because it's going to be debunking a lot of the stuff that a lot of these queens have been saying about them. And I was like, you know what? He's the perfect person that can handle that. So there's going to be a segment where he's just like holding up a thing and was like, okay, so what were you thinking at the time of doing that interview? I mean, during that time of those accusations, and they're going to sit and defend themselves. And I think that would be great. Post a clip on Instagram. Make sure that you disable the comments because people are going to slither up and if they bullshit and have their own narrative regardless. And I'm tired of people out here who like to weapon the colorism, racism, like all that shit. Y'all need to get you a millennial Gen Z type, whatever. Like, you don't find line with the bullshit in regards of people are thirsty or you trying to do Black erasure and all this other stuff. So I totally get now that I'm glad that Carmen came on and address the situation where it's just like, you know what? That wasn't the initial thing that happened. You basically created this headline just to get clicks and likes on your article, and it's worked. And the word on the street is the person that wrote the article has been problematic in a lot of ways and how they cover a lot of, you know, LGBT news in that way. And I get it. A lot of times we do use, and I've told y'all this, the way to get you find ways to get people to come over and look at your article and click on it because you want those clicks, you want those likes, you want those things. And journalism is a dying breed, apparently. It's like everybody's on here now watching shows like mine, or, you know, they're getting the information that way. People don't really take the time to read articles. I do. I like reading articles. Reading is fundamental, remember? So I love the fact that she came on here and was clearing up a lot of the stuff, and it was like, yeah, you knew. And to me, it looks like they purposely did that. Then it was like, oh wait, so when she brought the EPK and included the wedding stuff, because initially they wanted her to be on the show to have like a line or whatever, but I think when you had the whole wedding situation that you added to your EPK because you wanted to show, oh, these are the things that was going on in my life. And that's what it is. Electronic press kit is basically like a reel of sorts where you let people know like what you've been up to. And it's like a short little documentary type of letting people know what's going on in your life and how you can resonate and it relates to what it is that they're trying to do over on the project that you're trying out for. So, and I've had to do EPKs when I was in film school and college. So, and I did one with my friend DJ Tennessee, who's obviously a DJ. I said DJ Tennessee. But anyway, so they probably got they was like, you know what? Oh my God, this is a really good idea. Let's take that piece with the whole wedding thing and incorporate it in the show so that we have this idea of a trans woman with a cisgender male and they have a child and all this. Because I'm like, all of a sudden, we supposed to believe in season 3 that Poppy got a kid from out of the blue. Like everything felt rushed in season 3. Don't get me wrong about that. It's like everything felt rushed in that season. So they probably saw that idea, didn't want to include her in it. So they're like, we're just going to take that. We were inspired and now we're going to write something. So I do agree that if you're going to take a piece of my life story where it's so coincidentally, I sent this stuff to you and I'm noticing the similarities, then pay me for you using my likeness in some sort of way or something that is of my personal life to incorporate in your show. So I totally get that and what she's saying. So let's get back to the clip because I wanted to say that really quick before I forgot. So we got like 2 more minutes left.
And also, this is about business. Imagine you sharing your story with a group of writers They ghost you, and then all of a sudden, your story gets written onto the show. You're going to feel some type of way. This situation reminds me a lot about a previous situation that I had with a certain TV show that wasn't allowing trans people who perform in drag to compete on the show. I received so much backlash and disrespect from my own community just for speaking up about trans people, including us on the show, and being respectful to how you refer to us. Ever since having those conversations, and not only me speaking out, but other trans people that have been on the show, we have been able to be more inclusive to trans people on shows like Drag Race, leading to some of the most amazing moments. This Pride season, take a couple of moments to be there for your community members. And when somebody shares a story or something that's really important to them about a part of their life or even an injustice within the community, give them a safe space to be able to tell their story so that we can heal and move on together. Now, this story is not common for trans people, let alone trans people in the media, and it's my story to tell. I'm not embarrassed to tell my story, and I'm not embarrassed by anything that I went through. So, what might be tea for you is testimony for me. If you guys are seeing
Hmm. So there you have it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Carmen had a lot of influence on getting she-male taken out of the show because she had a problem. Apparently, it was problematic and all this other stuff. And I remember she was very vocal about it after a while. But I'm like, girl, you was on the show, and they were saying it while you was there, and you wasn't out as a trans person. But I guess maybe the reason why Carmen didn't say anything is because, oh, here I am competing on this TV show, and I'm not truly coming into my own as a trans woman yet. I haven't really discussed it. I don't know where I stand in a lot of situations. There's an opportunity for me to make it in the industry. So I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to do what I got to do. But when the show is done and everything, and now I've gotten to a place where I can fully transition to be my true authentic self, now I can go in and say the things that I want to say. But of course, you know, people are going to look at it as, oh, look at this girl out here biting the hand that fed her and got her to where she is today in regards of, you know, her being able to have the platform that she has to reach a wider audience. So I can see that too. But in me, when I looked at it, but I guess because I'm a cisgender gay man, I'm not offended by the word she-male. I mean, me, I looked at it as a pun on Tyra male. So that was basically what it was. And Drag Race is all about puns. But yeah, looking at it, it is seen as a homophobic slur. So if people feel like that is that, oh, it's not appropriate for TV or whatever the case was, or because we're looking at it from a larger consensus of these outsiders looking at this situation, then I guess we need to respect it and find a clever way to come up with things without it being at the expense of a marginalized community that we should be uplifting instead of looking down on. Because trans people, as much as they have pioneered their way through queer spaces, they're still treated like the ugly bastard stepchild. And it's unfortunate in a lot of ways. So we still have a long fight to go, especially with the way trans people are respected in, you know, in our society, especially when, you know, you get a lot of pushback from a lot of gay men who get mad when people want to have a voice to speak out against things that they're too afraid or to speak out for, or just too obtuse to understand. So I'll say all this to say, I'm glad Carmen came out and addressed the situation and said what she had to say in regards of this whole situation. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing, as I stated before, Elliot with two T's interview with Joseph Shepard whenever he releases that. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Now we have comments. It's like Henna for trying to be relatable. I saw Perez Hope was getting all upset or whatever. Why, damn it, she doing, damn it, she don't. Y'all sit out here complaining over the fact that she went and flew coach. It's like, sir, you're not getting it. The reason why people are, you know, shading her is because they feel like it's not authentic. Like nobody's thumbing their nose at the fact that a big time A-list celebrity of Jennifer's or Hennifer's caliber is flying, you know, coach. There's many of celebrities I've told you that I've been on a plane with that have flown coach. That we've heard stories about them flying coach. Nobody's complaining about that. What we're complaining about is the fact that it seems like you're doing it because it feels performative. It doesn't feel like, oh, you really doing it, because now there's been so many stories about her being unrelatable. She's not Jenny from the block. She's being fake. All these other things. These are the stories that have been coming out, and y'all be trying to, oh, she's not bothered. She's so unbothered. She's bothered, because if she wasn't, she'd still be flying on that private jet. And I don't mind if you got the coins to burn and to spare and to waste to go on a private jet or a plane or whatever, spend that money. I wouldn't hold nobody for that. If you got the money, spend it. You worked hard for that money, but it just didn't feel that people were just feeling like that. Just the timing and everything, it just didn't feel authentic. But anyway, they said I was friends with a girl. Oh, so was I. Her name was Annette, and she introduced me to like 9 Inch Nails because she was in love with Trent Reznor and all other stuff. So I got into a lot of gothic stuff in school. I said people were making comments of like when Gia Gunn was saying she opened doors. People were joking, yeah, I still see the jokes about Gia Gunn opening doors and stuff on social media. I said, isn't she the one that forced the you got shit? Yeah, it's funny how you asked that. It's like, yeah, we've heard the stories of that. She was, very much vocal in getting the she-male thing taken away, which we looked at it as, okay, so Drag Race is all about these funny puns and all that other stuff with the way they would do their show, and it was a pun on certain words. It wasn't to mean any malice in regards to, being transphobic and that sort of thing. Now, when RuPaul goes on to say that, the whole thing with trans people and getting injections and things in your body and all that whole fiasco that he said that people dragged his ass for, that's kind of like giving everybody give you the side eye, which makes me think now y'all be out here trying to overcompensate with the trans people being on the show. But drag has always been like this melting pot of different types of styles and genres and things of that nature. So I wish they would have too. To me, I don't truly believe that it was meant to be a 3-season type show. I do feel that there was supposed to be more seasons, because I could have sworn they said they were planning on 5 seasons, but we never got it. So I don't know what happened with why the show didn't get picked. I mean, didn't keep going, because it was good. And shout out to MJ and all of them that's out here still doing the damn thing. I think it was her that made it get changed. Kylie Sonique was the first queen to come out as trans on the show. Then Monica Beverly, yeah, she was. While on the show, then we had Monica Beverly Hills, and Kylie was the first trans woman to win Drag Race with her All Star season. And then, of course, we had Sasha Colby, was the first, I believe, trans woman to win a regular All Star season while trans. Did you consider that season 6 mini challenge offensive when they were looking at drag queens versus bi women's facial features? And yeah, that was looking back on that was he-male or she-male, I think was what it was called. Yeah, that was a bit inappropriate. Some of the challenges like no. Like when it's funny because it's like you look back on those type of challenges and then you're like, oh, it wasn't bad during the time, and then you see it. It's like, oh God, boy, y'all thinking. Yeah, Madonna's is worth $800 million in fly as Coach. So, and people don't make a big deal about that with her. We see her in the airport and getting on a plane and stuff all the time with her kids and her bodyguard and the people that work within her entourage. And it's not a big deal, but yeah, it's a big deal because it's Hennifer. Because Hennifer doesn't feel authentic coming from her. So that's why people are dragging her. But anyway, yeah, that mini challenge, is that mini challenge still in the show? Because I don't remember if it's there. Sometimes we're watching the show and it's like out of sight, out of mind, and I forget the details. But I believe they cut that episode or that challenge, right? I remember they also cut the episode of the wedding makeover, the one that got Jocelyn Fox sent home, and they had the guy with the silver makeup. Yeah, that episode doesn't exist on Paramount Plus anymore. So y'all trying to see that episode, you're never going to see it again. Because I remember hearing that. Wait, why does it say can't post comments in certain destinations? I have to look at that. I was thinking I need to get back into, I need to try to do, what do you call it? Instagram Live again. I haven't done Instagram Live in a minute. But anyway, So, oh, and then Felix as well, like on America's Next Top Model when they didn't, oh yeah, that race swap thing. I was like, what was y'all thinking? And Tyra, you being a black woman, how'd you co-sign that? But I guess maybe in her mind, she thought, okay, it's basically because then you're putting yourself in the shoes of that person. And it's like painting someone in blackface and giving them an afro is not putting them in the shoes of a black person. But that's what they thought at the time. Anyway, we're at the end of the show. If y'all have any more questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the comments really quick before I log off because I'm getting hungry. I got to start cooking, Jeff. But in the meantime, please hit the like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button if you haven't already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I hope everybody has a happy Pride. I'm going to be busy this weekend. I know Friday and Saturday, it's, Pride weekend is kicking, well, it's been kicked off, but it's in full effect come Friday because a lot of stuff is going on in New York. There's like parties everywhere. I even had a friend hit me up in a message, was like, oh, I'm coming to New York this weekend, and I want to know what's it doing, what's popping. And I'll be like, you probably need to get one of them gay magazines. You could probably follow my friend Jim Silvestri that does Padalecki, or you could follow my ex-roommate, even though I don't really talk to him no more. I'll promote her shit, late night cruising. He has that over there where he does all the, he puts together all the latest parties and stuff that's going on. I know it's mostly like sex party stuff. And he'll post, I remember he was posting stuff about drag and all that other stuff. But honestly, basically, he puts all the different events of what's going on in New York. There's so much shit going on. But I was like, child, just go to Hell's Kitchen. Stop in Hell's Kitchen, see what's it doing around there, because that's pretty much like the gay mecca at this point. It used to be Chelsea, but now it's Hell's Kitchen. There's a lot of spots. I can't even tell you what bars is out there anymore because every 5 minutes it's a new bar that pops up. One closed, another one opens. So I don't know off the top of my head the establishments that's out there. But if you really want to be out there partying or whatever, I mean, there's Boxers, there's a couple of places. Just go to Hell's Kitchen and live your life, get your best life, because that's where it's, partying. I mean, there's parties going on out there. Also, Jackson Heights, even though we had Queens Pride, there's a couple of parties and stuff out there. There's Friends Tavern, there's Evolution, there's a couple of parties. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Evolution probably until next year because I got kicked out because I got white girl wasted. So I don't know if I can step back in there and they remember me. So I'm gonna give that place a break. So, yeah, so there's a lot of parties going on this weekend, and then I'm trying to get out to Fire Island on July 4th. So there's a lot going on this weekend, and I'm gonna try to see if I can slither my way in some of these parties that's going on. But yeah, any last predictions of tonight's debate that Donald Trump is going to beat Donald Trump? Biden's probably going to be stuttering. And we'll just see what the highlights are when, once it's done. We'll just see. No, it's not a 5 hours. Because what a 5 hour show. This one that we on, okay, you said Top Model aged badly. Is what a 5 hours. This one, no, I've only been on for 3 hours and 40 minutes. So it's under 4 hours, actually, surprisingly. I was trying to hit for 3:30, but the other topics got a little long in the tooth. As I've talked to a few girls who did live chats with my friend Oliver Twist. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. And then, are you doing the Peter show Friday and Madonna Ladyland on Saturday? Wait, what's Peter's show? Peter Rohofer? I don't know. Friday I'm working. Saturday I'm working. Hopefully I can get out. I want to do Ladyland. So I'm gonna try to see if I can make it out to those events. I'm gonna try. I don't think I'm gonna just come straight home. I'm probably just gonna be like, okay, where am I gonna end up? So I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. Hopefully I can make it. Hopefully there's enough tickets. Hopefully it's not gonna be sold out and at capacity, and I don't get in because I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm gonna try to see what's it doing. I know Madonna she had her rehearsals for Ladyland today, actually. So yeah. So. Oh yeah, said Peter. That's what I said. I was like, wait, Peter Rohofer. There's an actual tribute because I thought it was just like some wishful thinking stuff that people was talking about. I need to look into it. I know Kevin Aviance is doing a party or something with Aquaria's name was on there, and it's a Voss event because he is a part of that their situation. Like Brandon Voss, like Voss, his pup. What is it? like the people that represent him and stuff is a part of his company. And Andrew WK's ex-wife Cherie Lilly is actually Kevin's manager. So there's that. So yeah, I don't know, but child, I know that Peter Brohofer tribute is probably gonna be lit because all the circuit queens that I came up with are probably gonna be in there, the ones that's alive, and a lot of friends who used to definitely go and do Frankie Knuckles, Peter Brohofer, a lot of their whenever they were coming, they would be performing at the clubs. You know, definitely, they would be up and they're living their best life, and people in the DJ world, y'all definitely need to, and the gays, the new up and coming gays, y'all definitely need to get into Peter Rohofer's music. They played a lot of his mixes and stuff in Queer as Folk. And I have many a CD that belongs to him. So here's that. But anyway, let me get up off here. Y'all probably won't hear from me until probably Monday. So it's going to be a long Pride weekend. And I'll let y'all know what shenanigans I got into. But definitely check me out on all my social media platforms, which I have down in the description. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification button, and all that good stuff. Make y'all have a happy Pride. See y'all on July 1st, Lord willing. And until next time, ciao, darlings.